this could be another reason. Yeah, I'm finished.
Do you like Israel? Zagros?
I think Levi just wanted to say something.
He says he's finished. He's finished.
Right, that's funny.
Zagros, my Kurdish friend. Okay, I guess not.
I understand where he's coming from, though.
Do you like Israel?
I understand, yeah.
It's not a matter of like or dislike. You know, I don't like, and I like. So this is not a matter of like and dislike. This is politics.
So are you in line with the politics of Israel?
Israel was very supportive, right, of the creation of Kurdistan, and they were very involved in that, I believe. So, of course, if you're a Kurdish person and you've experienced the discrimination from Arabs, because Arabs, we do have this supremacy thing going on too, and we also have racism within our own communities, and so the Kurdish communities have experienced the brunt of that, unfortunately. So I don't expect them to really like Arabs, and I understand it.
Yeah, but he has no reason not to like me, and I don't have a reason not to like him. I'm an Arab and he's a Kurd.
Right.
I don't think
On a personal level, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Even if I like Arab, they don't like me. You know why?
But that's what I'm trying to tell you, is maybe I don't like you, maybe because you support Israel, if you do.
No, I'm not supporting
because you're
Israel
Kurdish.
at all. I am not supporting Israel at all. But at the same time, if I like Arab, if I like Arab, they don't like me because they say you are Kurdish. Okay?
Well, that's racist as fuck. You should meet better Arabs.
Too, by the way.
Yeah, that's a good point. You should meet better Arabs.
I didn't know that the word Kurdish is an insult. I saw here in Clubhouse, two Iranians, one told the other, it was Yael and Roya, and one told the other, you're Kurdish, and she got really pissed, and then she later explained that it was because she well knew that it was an insult. So, yeah.
Even Arabs use every nationality as insult. Masri was Kurdi about you know? We're so racist.
Right. This is not the common. This is not an Arab thing. This is most cultures have this. But with the Kurdish issue, that is an issue. Palestinians, though, we have Kurdish people that live, Kurdish Palestinians. I have not, and I could be mistaken. I have not heard of any issues between them, between us. But in the Iraq, Syria area, that area there, especially near Iran, people are very tribal, very communal. They stick to what they know, and that's it. So they draw their own artificial lines between each other. Unfortunately, I hope that changes though. Turkey just made a peace agreement with the Kurdish.
I don't. Did anybody see the news that Netanyahu is doing a pincer movement to move in on enemy positions in order to force the release of the hostages?
Can you elaborate?
I put the link in the chat.
So Netanyahu, the IDF has been going around in Gaza. They've been killing people. They've been doing raids, but from what I've been reading, a lot of them are confused because they don't understand what the objective is. A lot of them aren't even getting orders. And what's being reported in the media isn't exactly what they're doing. A lot of them are just standing around areas that have already been demolished. There's nothing there but rubble. And then the Israeli media reports it as they have infiltrated and X area, for the last week, for example. But they haven't gone in. They just surrounded it. It's all rubble. There's nothing for them to do. So I don't know what the Israeli plan is, if they even have one.
The goal, Edward, obviously the goal and objective is to liberate the hostages. You can't be that dense, right?
No, they had a plan to liberate the hostages, all of them. Netanyahu broke it.
They planned to kill those hostages. That's why they bombed them.
They had a ceasefire agreement. Israel agreed, and Israel decided to break it. It's pretty cut and dry. Unless you're saying Palestinians broke it. I can't imagine. imagine making that argument.
Well, anyways, Benjamin Netanyahu's going to go down as the great liberator. Soon all the hostages being held by Hamas will be liberated.
And then the Israeli media reports it.
I think you're just trolling at this point.
I don't think I am. I think their liberation is coming. I don't know if you follow the news, but today is the first day of liberation in this revolution. And these terrorist cocksuckers who violate the law of man.
If they even have one.
What law? There is no law.
Yeah, the law of war. The law of war. When you go to a supernova EDM fest where people are having a good time and enjoying life and you murder all of them, then the law of a tornado of fire goes through your city and wipes you out. It's amazing how that happens.
You can't commit war crimes based on what someone else does. There's no law that allows you to do this.
It doesn't matter. He's talking about a nice party. It was nothing but a bunch of barbarian animals inside a rave. Drug addicts, homosexual animals.
But at the same time, I mean,
They got what they deserve.
At the same time, I mean, is that coexistence? Have any of you ever been to a concert and enjoyed some music in a nice festival area with some sun and some refreshments? I mean, what kind of a monster are you, Resistance? You're an animal. And you, Edward, you're an animal too. You can't even go enjoy a concert. You're all just a bunch of vomitous creatures, animals, disgusting humans, vile, pernicious, nasty monsters, all of you. Sick, murderous, terrorist scum.
My answer would be this, because I have to think about the people who entered that area and did that. Now, if my moms and her sisters and her sister's sisters and her sister's sisters and grandmothers and aunts, children, have been for generations and generations the place, slaughtered, raped, killed, I'm doing the same thing. It's just logical to me.
Well, that's a pure projection. I mean, it's pure projection. You're just a murderer. And that's why you attack innocent people in the streets, because you're a neurotic psychotic. That's what's going on. You're a sick human being, Resistance.
Right for them to do the same exact thing.
Exactly. You're sick. You're a sick person.
For example, it's the same thing that, because he's saying I'm sick, so that means Winston Churchill, that sick British motherfucker, was no different of a Nazi than Hitler. Why? Because his answer to destroying them after they won the war was to carpet bomb the whole population of Germany. They killed a whole bunch of innocent people.
Was that connected to the supernova event? Was that like an auxiliary festival somewhere nearby?
These strategies from, it's all connected. That's why he told the senile old bastard Joe Biden, why can I not carpet bomb?
Wait, what year did Winston Churchill do this? Like 1999 during the Abraham Accords? Like when was this?
He did this before the UN came about and made these stupid rules.
Was it before or after the? Was it before or after the Supernova Festival?
Because they come with this Holocaust narrative, so they don't have to respect that law that they made up for them.
A Holocaust narrative?
Yeah, I call it a narrative.
But
There's
what?
a lot of things about the Holocaust that have been debunked.
Really?
Yes, really. Like the amount of people who actually died and the method on how those people got killed.
Interesting.
Such as the gas chamber and the 6 million amount of people that they claim died. Yes, there's a lot of people who question those things.
So I'm just wondering, when was the last time you like? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dr. Mott.
We do have Kat in there and Abula, I believe, that haven't spoken. So if you guys want to have anything you'd like to say,
This is a prank call show, right? Is this the Longmont Potion Castle prank show? Is Resistance a caller into a prank call show?
No, don't.
All right, and let someone else talk.
Think this way.
I apologize. I thought this was like a prank call show. My bad. Resistance, are you for real? Or are you just like, did you get kicked in the head by a donkey or something?
You've been to too many Nova festivals.
Really? Too many supernovas. So those people, okay, got it. Okay.
Just going back and forth is like very cheap conversation, honestly, and it's not really conducive to like the conversation was much better before. So Abula, I saw that you on mic, so if you'd like to grab the mic, feel free to say something.
Thank you, Maj. I would like to yield my time to comedy.
Well, thank you. I mean, I thought this was the Longmont Potion Castle show of comedy where, low IQ, stupid people who have nothing to do or better things to do, they just waste everybody's time with their bullshit propaganda, misinformation, lies, and terrorism. And, generally, these people are very unhappy people. I don't know, they keep coming back to this app called Clown House.
Why are you talking about the Israelis like that? That's anti-Semitic.
Dude, are you high or drunk or what the fuck is wrong?
Cocaine, I'm telling you, it's their favorite drug is the Nova Festival.
No, this is the Longmont Potion Castle prank call show where people call in and waste all their time talking about nothing.
All right, so what's the topic here, Majid?
Well, there was a topic, but that whole conversation derailed, and now I don't even remember what the conversation was.
Welcome back to the sanitarium.
I do want to push back on this whole thing about people taking drugs. So what if they were taking drugs? That doesn't justify them getting raped or getting killed the way that
they didn't get raped. Why are you mentioning rape for? Where's your evidence of rape?
Well, I honestly didn't look
at
You didn't research it, but you utter it as if it's a fact, like if it didn't happen.
Let's step back for a moment and say that.
Let's step back.
And then the Israeli media reports it as they have
mere stupidity in my view.
It is stupidity when someone says something that never happened, but you're saying it as if it's a fact. That is stupid.
Right, but resistance is also nice that you have many opinions, but at the end of the day, you're not living on the ground, and you're also not dealing with the consequences of your.
Brother, I've been dealing with the Palestinian plight since 1997. This is not nothing new to me. Sorry, Jack. Talk to someone else with that nonsense. I deal with that reality.
Resistance.
So,
like, you're talking about a bunch of nothing.
So you've been hanging out at the club lately?
Yeah.
So the Beastie Boys are in town. Yeah, we're a realtor office, and we're going to put an order in for lunch. This is my assistant.
Hi.
And her name's, guess what her
How
name
many
is?
Israelis have you slaughtered?
That's something that he
Guess
would
what her
even
name
talk
is?
about. Or
Why not?
Hold on.
Her parents are hippies.
Move on, but this whole rhetoric, you're not paying the consequences of violence. Breeds more violence, and we need to start preaching for some type of peace.
And then the Israeli media reports it as they have.
Because at the end of the day, it's the people on the ground
and then that looks at today's conflict through the lens of religion, through the lens of 2,000 years. So the religious component is that.
Killing our people. We don't negotiate while they're killing us. That's not Islamic.
Islam
in Islam, we have something called jihad. Sorry.
No, we have intelligence too, resistance.
Exactly.
We don't
and our
do that.
intelligence will always tell us we don't give peace while people are slaughtering us. Peace only comes when they stop slaughtering.
Of course, we agree on that. Welcome to Farias, and you're also on stage.
I should mute everybody, including my mod mate.
My bad.
I want everybody to know that I like you as someone from Abu Ghosh, and I hope you respect me and turn away from that. Usually in those times, around 12 o'clock, I open rooms. And I want be my. Till now, I take only pretty women. I thought I would bring. They make everything more fun, and you can all of them. I take the microphone because I want to say my believing that I believe that quite soon it will be finished. It depends all the cards in Donald Trump's pockets. His card is a good poker player, and he decide, and he just have to decide. That's all. That he want everything to be finished, everything will be finished. He thinks that he put out to the world that the sky will open and Hamas. It's not seems the Hamas so much. The magic word is finish the war. Everybody knows. If Israel stop the war, take out the military from out of Gaza, the Hamas will release. Of course, they will want something that nobody will kill them. Yes. If if they go abroad, if somebody will come and control, but they will not release all the soldiers there or the 59 hostages without getting any insurance for their life. You have to be crazy. Go inside their skin. They have nothing to lose. Nothing. Israel know one by one, picture by picture. They know that Israel will run after them everywhere in the world. The kind of they know it's the most awful from the Holocaust. It's the most awful thing. They succeed, and there is no argument that they succeed to hurt very, very much the Israelis. They know it very good.
Almost. Why are you talking like it's a surprise? Almost that Palestinians would have done something violent after all these generations of being oppressed. Isn't this inevitable? Not just with Palestinians. If you take any group of people, millions of people, and you oppress them violently, and wouldn't the outcome always going to be violence against the oppressor?
Listen, I'm not going to represent my government, not the Shabak, not the Mossad. They have the intelligence. They have to fight against violence. It's not my job. I'm a simple driver. You can ask me how to fight against violence drivers on the road. I will give you very good answers. How to be violent on the road, or how to be violent in the virtual rooms. But I can't change the violence both sides. Who more, who less. I'm born as an Israeli. I don't know, Edward, if you're born as a Palestinian, you don't know who is your parents.
I have, yes.
You're a Palestinian, yes? Edward.
Yes.
You know where your grandmother come from?
Oh, yes, Lid.
Where?
Lid. Or Lud.
Where?
Lud or Lid.
Lud.
Yeah.
Lud, okay, Lud, it's good enough.
Yeah.
And, if you know what's happened today in Lud, till today they live. No, Lud, it's not a good example because it become a criminal. All the criminals come to Lud. I don't know why, but it's become a very risky city to live in. So I can't say.
The Palestinians left it. My grandparents on both sides were from there. The Nakba, during the Nakba, we left. So it was a vacuum. So after that, I think other elements moved in.
I can advise you one thing. You can keep on with your dreams to go back to your house in Lod.
No, I don't have those dreams. No. My dream is a wall between Israel and Palestine, and Palestinians will have Palestine, and Israel could have Israel. That's it. That's my dream.
So we have the same. At least we share the same dream.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We need to ask Netanyahu if he shares that very real practical dream.
Because you talk with me not about the 7th of October. You ask about all the years the Palestinians suffered. So we go back to the old argument. What's happened over the years? I'll say from the Israeli side, they are terrorists. Never look at peace for us. We give them to peace, we get back terrorized. And there is a lot of example of peace that I can be identified. The best identifier as a bus driver that I'm connected with the Arab people in Israel, those who didn't fight, stay. And the best example, I go to an Arab who bring workers to a hospital. And I told the people, to go, not to. He's very Muslim, religious, put a carpet and start praying. And I don't want to disturb him, but the people say, yes, go. So I waited till he finished his praying, and he waited for a couple of women to come to his car. And I come to him, please, Arab friends, please talk to them. You know what happened after 1 minute? He bring me the telephone back, and he do with his finger on his head, they're all Majnun. He tell about the people here, resistance, and prince, and the best people were here. Listen for this. That show what the Israelians are, Arab Israelians, who stay in Furudis, in Baka el-Garbia, in a lot of villages, including Lod, Ramle, Tel Aviv, Jaffa, Haifa, a lot of places living together. 20% of Israel today are Arab, representing in the parliament of Israel with Arab members. Yes, some said that those Arab are cooperate with the Palestinian against Israel. So I advise you to look for the future and not for the past. Yes, there is a lot of awful things that Israel do to the Palestinian as well. I don't know who is more. No, in my position, I still think that the Palestinians are more terrorists. From Yasser Arafat to Abu Abbas, who denied the Second World War. So look for the future. If you want, I tell always, you want to fight. You want to fight against me. I'm leftist. I bring Jamal here to the rooms. I'm looking for talking to the Palestinians. I come to Amir's room. But I always say I'm stronger than you, and it's like to me that I'm stronger than you. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I was in the sea, as you.
Anyways, why so slow?
Yes, Ash, I don't know you talk. I give you 2 minutes. Talk, Ash. Ash, 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 yes, Ash, yes, Ash, yes. You finally no talk. You close friends only. Can I be your friend, Ash, yes? Ash, yes. Suddenly you're quiet. Somebody wants to speak.
Do you have a mental health condition?
Speak, I don't understand you. Speak. Little child, speak.
I'm saying, why so slow?
I don't understand any word.
Anyways, carry on.
Hermes, I don't know.
Maybe English is his second language?
Edward, okay, represent the Palestinian side.
Huh? Sorry?
I said I represent the Israeli side. Maybe you represent the Palestinian side now and look for the future. Try. What the past we all know. We can argument who is more or less better or wrong, but look for the future, not to the past. Let's see what you can tell me about the future.
And that's an important question. I do believe that there is a modification to a ceasefire that Hamas agreed on that's going to come into effect. But stopping the war is one thing. What happens after the war, even rebuilding Gaza, is one thing. That still doesn't solve the issue, the actual issue of Palestinian self-determination, Palestinians having the right to have their own nation and to be free of the occupation. And until we solve that, there's going to be more wars. And wars are expensive, both for life, for property, and economically, and they do not serve any purpose. The only purpose they serve, the only people they really serve, are the companies that make the weapons. That's who they serve. So moving forward, and I said this earlier, is we have to start asking the hard questions. We need to start talking to Israel. To Israelis, Palestinian leadership needs to talk to the Israeli leadership, and I believe it should go through the UN, so everything is mediated by international law. And we as Palestinians need to ask the question, okay, Israel, what is it going to take to end this, to end everything, to end all violence, to end the occupation, to live in peace? What is it going to take? And of course, the Palestinians are going to say what it's going to take as well. And we need to start asking these questions to each other and formulate a plan to get there. We have not had a plan to get there. Oslo, was the start. That was doomed to fail. I think most people agree on that. And the reason that it was doomed to fail is because there was no real end game to it. I mean, there was no, it was very political. It didn't represent what was on the ground.
There was an end game. Just Yasser Arafat didn't want to sign for the end game.
No, well, okay. Well, what was he signing? He was signing where Israel would have checkpoints in the West Bank. Israel would control the areas between cities in the West Bank. Israel would control and the area, the border with Jordan?
Try not to change the agreements. There were agreements. It would be a country, Palestine, controlled by Palestinians. Don't say lies now. The Palestinians would not agree that Israel will control about moving inside Palestine for the Palestinian people. But yes, for the security of Israel. But even Bibi Netanyahu announced in Bar-Ilan speech that there will be 2 states to 2 nations.
Announcing 2 states almost is easy to do. Announcing an actual plan to get to 2 states, that's something totally different. That's the question that needs to be asked, and we need to start now.
75 years of war and not believing in each other. But Yitzhak Rabin, and after Yitzhak Rabin, Barak, they go the most far for Yasser Arafat. And they wouldn't let him come here with weapon and everything. They let him come in Israel with weapon and everything. With a lot of stories that he had terrorists in his jeep and in his planes. There are a lot of stories that, amongst the Israelis about how Yasser Arafat cheated the Israelis. And they knew everything they knew. But still, Yitzhak Rabin and Shimon Peres that time says that the peace agreement is more strong than everything else.
But the agreement wasn't for a free Palestinian nation. At the end of the day, Palestinians would not have been free. Even though they told the public, one thing, the agreement itself said something different, unfortunately. And this is in the 90s and 2000s. We're talking about today. Today everything should be out in the open.
Today it's much more complicated.
No, it's not from the Palestinian side.
Rightist government, it's impossible even, I think, today. We need to think about it.
Well, we need to first expose the agenda of the right in Israel, and you do this first by asking the questions and going to the UN. Palestinians are in the UN, and I don't know why they don't ask. We want to know what it takes for Palestinians to get a nation to be free of the occupation. We want to know from the Israeli government. We're putting in a request, an official request, a diplomatic request. We're going through the UN, and we want a response from the Israeli government. This is where it starts, and this is where is Netanyahu is he for peace or not, or is he for the interest of Israel or not? Does he care about only his political base?
Edward, this is like the 5th time you've repeated that, and unfortunately, that's just a projection. It's just not going to happen.
No, there's no projection. There's no projection. This is what any 2 nations or 2 peoples would do, is to ask, okay, how do we end this cycle. How do we move forward? And I'm saying that we should do it at a higher level. Oslo was not with the United Nations. No one was involved with Oslo or any of the so-called peace agreements with Israel and the Palestinians except the U.S., Israel, and Arafat and Abbas after Arafat. That's it. There are no other parties. Here, the United Nations, I think, should be involved. And we should sit down. If we could iron out the ceasefire agreement, we could sure as hell iron out a permanent peace agreement. I don't understand why we cannot.
Edward,
we could do it in steps.
Saying are relevant, were relevant, I think, until the 6th of October. You're talking about the UN as like this legitimate, non-biased, organization, and you don't need to agree with this, but you need to accept it, that we don't see it as such. And I would also tell you, in our point of view, or at least in my point of view, and you know what? I would ask you differently. You're talking about peace, but what is the Palestinian cause? I mean, do they want to live side by side with us, to coexist, to live in peace next to us? Is this what they want? Be honest, because I hear a lot of different rhetorics.
Again, this is why it's important to ask Israel what Israel wants the Palestinians to do to get a state, and then negotiate from there. It's not. Hold on, let me land. I didn't interrupt you. It would not be appropriate for an occupier to ask those that are oppressed, prove to me first that you're worthy of freedom before we move forward. No, we're not putting conditions on anybody.
Don't answer the question.
We don't have to put conditions. I'm not putting conditions on you. Don't put conditions on me.
Edward, I didn't put any condition, and I don't know.
You did. You asked me what is the Palestinian cause. Why does it matter? Why does this matter? This has to first meet. It has to meet your approval first before we move forward. Go ahead.
That is not a condition. Edward. That was a question of what do you want. I'm not limiting you, and you want Big Daddy Israel to tell you what you want. No, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm asking you, what do you want?
No, it doesn't. It's not. It can't work that way because we should come to the UN.
I'm literally
and
asking you what you want, and you get offended for me asking. What is it that you want?
what I want is a starting point. We need a starting point, right?
No. I'm not talking about No, I don't want a starting point. I want to know, what do you want?
The end game, the end objective. Is that what you asked?
What do you want? Yes. What do you want?
I've said this. I don't know if you were in the room earlier. I think 2 states with a wall between us.
The Palestinians. What do they want?
What do you mean? The Palestinians want to be free of the occupation. They want a state of their own. I mean, that's pretty obvious.
Which any state?
Why are you asking these weird questions? I mean, you're not being genuine. You're overcomplicating. You're overcomplicating.
No. First of all, you need to relax a bit. I don't know why you're so excited. I'm not overcomplicating.
I'm not excited at all.
I think I'm very obvious, and I think if you're missing it, then. Okay, I would just say it. I think it was very obvious. The Palestinians want Israel gone. Okay, I'm not imagining it. I hear it not just from the Palestinians themselves, but from the entire pro-Palestinian movement. It's not about.
So that's irrelevant though. Palestinians
relevant.
We have the right to be free from the occupation. It doesn't matter what.
I don't care about this.
No, it doesn't matter what Israelis think of Palestinians. What you think of us doesn't matter.
I'm not saying what we think. Again, I'm asking you what you want.
No, you're
not even listening to me.
You asked and I gave you a response, and then you said it's not good enough, so you made up your own response.
Wow, Edward, let's restart, okay? Let's restart, okay? I'm asking you now, and forget about everything that was said until now, okay? What do the Palestinians want? What is the cause?
Daniel, I've already answered the questions. Palestinians want to be free of the occupation and want their own state. They don't want to destroy Israel. They've made that clear many times, multiple times. Not
they
just.
did not.
Yes, they
They
did.
not
And
make it clear.
if it did not meet your approval, that's on you. But the next step, or the first step, I should say, is for Israel to say, what would it take for Palestinians to have? I want
What
to
is
talk
from the
about.
river to the sea?
No.
What is from the river to the sea?
Listen, the first step is for Israel, for Palestinians to say to Israel, what is it that you want? Okay? What objectives do we have to meet?
I will tell you, we want to
and then we negotiate.
security. So I will tell you.
That's too broad. That's too broad.
That is not.
It has to be a plan.
No, Edward.
It has to be a plan.
Don't ask a question and expect an answer. Deal with the answer, okay? We want to live in peace and security. That's what we want.
Okay. That's fine as a general answer. That's fine as a general answer. But if I ask you, what is it going to take for Palestinians to have a nation? Then
whatever you want, as long as my demands that we want to live in safety and security are met. Now bring me a proposal that will guarantee that we would live in safety and security.
I have no problem with Palestinians bringing a proposal, but I don't think Israel would accept a proposal from the Palestinians. I think Israel would.
Don't already decide for us that we will, like, you imagine a proposal that doesn't exist and you already decide that Israel will reject it. So
I'm going to keep this on Israel. I'm going to keep this on Israel.
I understand because
I'm going to say Israel. What does Israel want? And then we can work.
Israel.
We can work with that. I'm sorry. That's why I'm going to keep the spotlight. I'm going to keep it on Israel. You're the occupied power. You need to have something that says, okay, this is how we get rid of it.
But I'm answering you. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. What Israel wants is to live in safety and security. That's
what Palestinians want. Period. There you go.
Amazing.
That doesn't get us anywhere.
Amazing. So let's understand why it didn't happen until now. All the way from.
Of course, this is where we're leading into. It's all Palestinians' fault. Of course. This is what happens. This is a cycle. The cycle is always getting back to, okay, Palestinians, you're terrible people. This is why we are occupying you. No. I think Israelis need to take a hard look at themselves. You cannot call yourself an enlightened people at the same time that you are occupying millions of people. Life doesn't work that way.
Stop with this, with all those.
Stop your condescension. You're not above me, Daniel. I know because you're occupying Palestinians. You feel like you're above them, but you're not. You're not.
Amazing. Okay, I don't give a fuck about this nonsense occupation. What we want is to live in safety and security. If you do not accept,
you're the occupier. You couldn't live in safety and security. Okay, you couldn't live in safety and security in 76 years. You couldn't find safety and security. Then you're doing something wrong.
We will do whatever it needs to be done in order to guarantee our safety and security. Now, you don't want checkpoints. You don't want a blockade. You don't want a war in Gaza. Amazing.
Oh,
easy,
my God.
Easy.
You're delusional. You're delusional. 76 years you have not had security or safety. And so what you have done has not worked. So try something new.
Listen.
Find another way.
Look at me.
Maybe if I were Israeli, I would first start taking responsibility for my own actions.
A Palestinian is telling me to
okay, so Edward, I got a question.
Oh my God. A Palestinian is telling me to take accountability.
Exactly, I know. It's insane that you should be taking accountability and responsibility, but your nation needs to take responsibility and accountability for their actions, just like Palestinians take responsibility and accountability for their actions. You have to do the same.
When? Give me examples. When did Palestinians take responsibility and accountability?
We have tradition.
When?
Give me an example of something that we have not taken responsibility for. Like what?
Everything that happens to you. Listen.
Everything that happens. We don't take responsibility. We take responsibility for our actions.
I will give you an example of something that we took responsibility for, and then you will give me an example, okay? So, for example, when the IDF killed those 3 hostages, immediately they took responsibility and accountability. They admitted it, and I will give you a more example if you want. But first, you give me an example where
Sorry,
Palestinians take
repeat it.
responsibility.
I heard IDF and hostages.
When the IDF killed 3 hostages by mistake. We took responsibility,
Okay,
we took
so-
accountability. Now
okay.
you.
Okay, so Hamas said publicly that the October 7th didn't go according to their plans. Things did go wrong. If people were, if there were anything that happened that shouldn't have happened, they will do a full investigation after the war is over, and they will hold those people accountable. That's what they said. So that's recent.
My case. I think I will rest my case. Whoever has like
Okay, you rest your case. I would appreciate it if you rest your case, because it's not you that is that is making these decisions in Israel. You're not being honest with yourself, so you can't really. I can't really argue with you. Netanyahu is at least honest with himself. He knows what he wants. The issue here is, we Palestinians need to make sure that he goes to the UN, Israel goes to the UN, and announces exactly what they want. Do they want the genocide? Do they want to ethnically cleanse? Or do they want to move forward in a peaceful solution? If yes, okay, how?
We want your people to stop killing us. If you will not get it through your head and you keep crying like
we want you to stop killing us.
Genocide.
There's way more.
Like, it's nonsense. It's
Zionist-inflicted genocide is real, and if you deny it, it's like denying the Holocaust.
If it's a genocide,
Self-genocide. Go and say it.
Wait, can I interrupt Edward Daniel? You guys are really going at it.
Consequences.
Can I just interrupt?
Not a genocide.
I will just tell you again. Write it on your hand. The only thing that we want is peace and security.
No, Daniel, you don't want peace and security.
And everything
you made that very clear.
Everything that you blame us. Everything that you blame us is exactly what you want.
You want excuses. You want to make excuses for your behavior because you can't live with yourself, because what you're doing is murder.
This is why.
Palestinians do not want to be occupied by you. You need to understand
so
this.
You have to be until you learn to behave.
All right. No. It doesn't work that way. We're not children. We're not your children to raise us.
Yes, you
This is the Jewish supremacy that everyone talks about. I want everybody to hear this. I want everybody to hear the Jewish supremacy here. How Jews.
Hi, excuse me, Edward. I just want to cite a statistic. You guys have really been going at it, quite a bit. There's been over 20,000 rockets launched into Israel from Gaza just in the past 20 years. So, I mean, let's get things in order here. Who's bothering who? 20,000 rockets in 20 years. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of rockets. It's pretty annoying to have rockets get shot at, civilian populations all the time.
There's a lot more occupation than there are rockets.
Okay, but you want war. And if you lose the war, please don't come complaining. If you want,
nobody is complaining. No one is complaining. I'm not complaining, but you do more complaining.
Okay.
No. Genocide is not a complaint. Genocide is an act. It's an action. Genocide is not a complaint.
No, it's a charge.
It's a charge
of crime.
Okay, no. Listen.
That's a complaint.
No, listen. That's a legal term. Then you're using a legal term.
Right. You're making that charge. It's a false one, but you.
Okay. Oh, you decided it's false already. It hasn't even gone to court yet. It's still being litigated, but you decide it's false. Again, Jewish supremacy at its finest, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen.
This is language.
Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead, Edward. We want to hear you.
Keep in mind that we wrote the word genocide and the convention.
Yes, and you own it.
Hang on, Edward. We know all too well what it is and what it is. Your population has increased 4 times during.
My God, are you seriously saying this? Are you going to say this? That is not a characteristic of genocide.
I finish, Edward.
Oh my God.
Wait until I finish. This is a genocide. It's the worst genocide in history. Your population keeps growing, and you live a middle-class, comfortable existence in Israel with no problems. It couldn't possibly be a genocide. It
Yes,
doesn't
the Arab
meet the
Israelis
definition.
are doing very
So
well.
I'm not going to debate with you on nonsense. I will say to you again,
Then stay quiet. Then stay quiet.
You have two choices. No,
we don't have
You
two
have
choices.
two
You don't come up with the choices for us. Again, Jewish supremacy at its finest.
From our perspective, there's no supremacy here. I'm stating our position. And Daniel has said it, and Amos has said it. If you want peace,
And I have said my position, so leave it at that then.
Morty, just wait a second, Morty. Don't troll all the time. I have stated our position, Daniel has stated our position, Amos has stated our position.
You have no position.
Let me finish.
You have not stated a position. I'm the only one that has.
Let me finish, and then you can respond calmly. I'm not going to go on for a long time. The position is as follows. If you want peace, we are always here to talk peace. If you want war, we are always here to meet you with war. You started a war, this is the consequence. Perhaps you will stop starting wars. You've lost everyone. We don't want to do this. We want to do what is that now?
Are you done with your Jewish supremacy speech, Norm?
I never said that I was supreme. What is that, Amos? What's that?
I want you to give Edward to response. You don't take only the microphone for yourself. Give other people to interfere.
Yeah, okay. That's stated our position. That's fine. Daniel has stated our position.
So using the logic here that it's not a genocide because birth rates have increased. That number one is population has increased is horrible.
El Moro, please.
So that would make the Holocaust not a genocide.
Right.
Shut the fuck up.
It would.
We're nearly wiped out. It's the opposite.
No, that's not true. There was Mizrahi
100%
Jews.
true. Edward was talking. Try to come up with your own.
Norm,
let's go right to the war and peace.
This element of genocide that you have, that the Palestinians have made babies and therefore there is no genocide.
Population has increased.
That is not how genocide. That is not what genocide is.
That's not how it works.
I want to hear now Dr. Baby only. Dr. Baby, you speak now.
Okay. First of all, I heard some pieces of shit lying about my people, saying that we are pro-Palis. Pali-Nazis, in my view, as a Kurdish person, and my majority of the Kurds hate Palestinians. They want them dead. They occupied our lands. They killed our babies alive in Kurdistan by Saddam. They helped Saddam. They helped Khamenei. They helped Turkey. They helped everyone. Every single piece of shit.
This lady is such a liar. Come on, guys.
Dr. Baby, maybe best not to conflate the two issues.
Pali-Nazis supported my genocide. Pali-Nazis supported my genocide in Afrin, in Syria, in Iraq, in Turkey, in Iran, everywhere I go. When my genocide happened in 2009 when I was gassed, Palestinian waved a Turkish flag in Jerusalem. We will never forget about your terrorists when you buried our children alive with Saddam. When you stand 3,000
Got it. Okay. Can I respond? Can I respond?
Let her finish.
I will tell you what I feel about the everything that's happening to the Pali-Nazis, they deserve it 100%. Even now, I feel so bad about Israel because Israel is not doing a great job in genociding them. Because what they have done to everybody, they genocided Arabs, Kurds, Jews, everyone. Israel is not doing the same to them what they did to the Jews. I'm still shameful about this, and I will tell you, the only criticize that I have on Israel is they're too nice with the Pali-Nazis. That's the only criticize I have. Everything else is perfect.
All right, can I respond to you? This isn't therapy. Okay.
I don't think that it's worth.
I just want to imagine one sentence. One sentence.
Very low quality comment.
It is low quality, but I want people to understand one sentence here. Go talk to the Christians, because the Christians in Iraq not only support but wanted the Kurds gassed. Go talk to them. Nothing to do with Palestinians. So I'll leave it there.
Yourself and do not get my community.
That's the truth.
You have no right to tell me how.
We don't even have enough people to do this. Okay, I'll stop.
About the Christians, you shut the fuck up. You Islamist pieces of shit. Every single genocide was by a fucking Quran verse. So yes, you're a piece of shit. Like you.
The Christians wanted you gassed. Ask them. On here, ask the Christians. Christians from Iraq
are better than you.
Ask the Christians from Iraq.
Times more.
Listen, ask them.
At least care about the children.
Yes, I will. Okay, I will. Imagine I will.
No, at least you care about the children. What do you care about? You even kill your own for fucking hatred.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Baby. Your contribution was invaluable to our conversation about
Shut the fuck up, Majid, you gay piece of shit.
Right. I'm everything that you don't like, which I'm very happy about.
You're a poly-Nazi, a fucking terrorist, Islamist gay, who's fucking dying to fucking get accepted by fucking people who dislike you. They're gonna kill.
Okay, I'm sorry. I did remove her because her voice was just very annoying, other than the content of and the.
Wait, Mike, did you remove her from the room or you just put her down?
I just removed her. She's not adding any. Sorry,
No. You listen. This is between.
Can I say
something? I mute everybody.
If someone comes and cusses you as.
I mute everybody now. I'm talking, and I'm talking only to Mike. Now you listen to me. What you did now is unacceptable by Amos. I know that it's very difficult for you and Edward to listen for Dr. Baby. But I put you so I have to stand behind you because you agreed to me a moderator in my room.
Okay, so Amos, I don't have time for this.
No,
I'm leaving. I don't care to hear all this. She does, but it's not
Stay here, man. I wanted to
Can I say one thing, please? Can I say one thing? Fuck that person.
Listen. I mute
Fuck that bitch. It's coming and telling me fuck off. I don't care to hear her bullshit. Let me say one thing. Then I'm gonna leave with my moderating style. I have a mission about my moderating style.
I said I want the microphone.
Okay, so you can unmute me.
Nice. I said I want the microphone. I said I want the microphone. When I said I want the microphone, I get the microphone. And I changed the room to remove from audience. It's enough. You don't have to remove from the room. Because when you remove her from the room, she can't come back. And I listen a lot. It's very difficult for me to listen to Edward, to Resistance, to Palestine, to you. It's also very difficult for me. Yes, she said very difficult things. But because you're green, it's not give you the power to remove her from the room, even if it's difficult for you. Even if she say rubbish, everybody will talk in my room. The most rubbish she will talk.
Hi, Dr. Amos, I'd like to read from Hamas's charter where they explicitly enshrined their mission, where Hamas says, Israel will exist and will continue to exist until Islam will obliterate it just as it obliterated others before it. How do you explain that in the Islamic charter of Hamas?
Amos was saying something to me, and I would like to an opportunity to respond, and then you can come back up. This is not you spoke, and I didn't have a chance to respond. I would like to, because you're painting this as a picture of me just having removed someone who was giving her opinion and me not liking her opinion. There's a very big difference between liking an opinion and her continually interrupting me with the moment that I wanted to respond by calling me a faggot and by saying all these things. There has to be a certain standard if we want to have a genuine conversation, and she was not adding value into the conversation. She's from Kurdistan. She has hatred in her heart. She has nothing to contribute to the conversation. So yeah, I did remove her, and quite frankly, that bitch, her voice was very annoying.
First, I respect you, and I will, even if I don't agree with you, I will stand behind you. That's first. Second, I'm asking you to change the room. That's what I did before you removed her. Because when you remove her from the room, she cannot come back. When you remove this, I don't remember his name, so you put him down from the audience, and it's okay to put down this comedy. Comedy is also interfering me a lot. So just remove him and don't let him back. You're very easy let him back.
Right, actually, I'll just put her down instead. You're right.
Smooth just left now. I wanted to give him the opportunity to speak and he left. Smooth is a very intelligent Palestinian. And he just arrived and he just left. So, okay, keep on with your discussion.
Amos, I just want to say for you and Madge that she shouldn't attack his identity. And the gay remark, I think, was out of pocket. And I don't know if you heard it, and I would just say to you, Madge, you should maybe just tell her to not make a personal attack. That's all I wanted to say.
You didn't hear Shuki, and I didn't remove Shuki when he come here and start singing Amos Benzona. So
okay, but between Jews, it's one thing, but for somebody to call somebody this about their identity, I think is not good.
Yeah, I mean, the space is also a mess. So I do understand almost what you say, and I do apologize. I won't remove anyone from the room, maybe send down to the audience, considering this is your room. Yeah, I mean, obviously, my favorite was the
just remove from the audience. So if somebody come to interfere, you will interfere down there on the audience, so we can't interfere as they're speaking here. So easy, so simple. But when you remove from the room, she cannot come back anymore.
We understand. So what is the theory for achieving coexistence now?
Oh, you're getting drunker and drunker by the minute.
I'm not drunk. I'm sitting here asking a question, Dr. Edward.
So I would start by not killing 12 aid workers and burying them in shallow graves. It's usually a good place to start.
Well, we can start there. It's a very low bar, but we can start there.
I think that was 15, no?
So
I think, I get the numbers.
Unfortunately, hundreds of aid workers are killed by accident. To try to say that this was deliberate,
they were tied up.
Is a deliberate. To try to say that this is deliberate is a deliberate lie.
They were tied up.
Norm, they were handcuffed and buried. What are you talking about? Along with their vehicles.
I have to see. To try to pretend that this was deliberate is
they
a
were handcuffed.
You can't negotiate with. Again, you're making a claim. I'm happy to read.
That's what Israel said.
Your claim,
guys, no. They want to basic. It's again Darwin.
Let's get the facts up. Let's get the facts up before we give our
opinion. Blaming us and stuff that they're doing. We saw video of Hamas tying people up.
Why are we talking about Hamas?
The IDF is not doing.
These are not Hamas.
No, stick with these ambulances.
The IDF is not tying
5 ambulances, 1 fire truck, and a UN car, and all of them were bombed.
And who was in the car? And who was in the car?
And buried. Why did Israel bury the whole
Why
thing?
were they buried?
We didn't bury it.
Yes,
who
said
it was
buried.
They were buried.
They're bulldozed.
Okay,
yeah.
guys, you're not going to win based on.
Why would the Israel bury it? Like,
exactly.
You don't even use your head, okay?
When you do something wrong, you usually try to bury it.
Every day you bring a new story that is like.
No, but there is a new story every day. That's the.
No one is checking it. Yes, there's a new story. I can make 5 a day.
No, we're not making them up. They are people that were discovered under the ground.
No, not we.
No, they're all stories.
No, I didn't come up with this headline.
Being echoed over and over.
We'll check on your Hamas stories.
Right. Let's get the facts. No, let's find Times of Israel. Let's find an Israeli.
No, there's no point in bringing it up, Aziz.
That's not.
You make silly charges. This is what.
No, but they were tied up.
No, Aziz, I'm sorry. You made your point. You made your point. Thank you, Aziz.
Well, you haven't proved. You haven't justified it. You need to do your job.
You know what, guys? You haven't provided any evidence. You're just making shit.
Well, that's why I said I can get a
conversation. Let's not make shit up.
So the IDF is an evil army, and you should probably release the arches and end it. Otherwise, no, we are very evil.
We're getting
Well,
to the.
no, no.
We're getting to the.
No, no,
You
I
need
agree
an
with you.
unsubstantiated charge, and
I agree with you.
Now let's get back to
I agree with you. We are so.
Daniel, do you assume that Palestinians are going to have favorable perspective towards the IDF? Could it be that the IDF is protection for Israelis and for Palestinians they're actually considered a terrorist organization? I mean, two simultaneously. No, it's not. I'm not arguing. I'm genuinely asking you a question.
They could have their own opinion. It doesn't like listen. It's complete. The entire Palestinian tactic is inversion. Okay, calling the IDF a terrorist organization is like it's laughable. Okay, and the only reason that they're saying it is to cause this like there's both sides.
Oh, so we weren't
you terrorists. Let me finish. They say we are terrorists. They say we are terrorists. It's like it's like opinion based. No, it's not opinion based. It's like this is like the insanity. You can think it, you can be brainwashed to it.
So Hamas killed the 15.
Let him finish.
I don't know who killed it. I don't know who killed what killed. We don't have really information coming from Gaza apart from Hamas. And now that they were even when there were now demonstrations against Hamas went and executed those people. This demonstration is not even mentioned in Al Jazeera. It's like you're being gaslight. You're in a mirror world. And you know it, like you do see the cracks of things that don't make sense. I don't know why you guys ignore it. Like it's all there.
It's political all the time. They are political all the time.
I do hear Palestinians saying exactly the same thing, and it's like the other way around. Like, so I don't know. So someone is not.
Yes, I know,
but the question is where.
You want to talk about gaslighting? I just put the article.
It's very easy much. You have one society that has free press, freedom of speech,
I'm going to read it now.
And one society that doesn't. This is why when there were protests and people are being executed.
You don't have free press in Israel. What are you talking about? You're currently under a military censorship. What do you mean? Haaretz was censored by the government. What are you talking about?
Edward, please relax. I mean, I used to respect you, but
I'm not looking for your respect, Daniel. You don't have to respect me. Just don't kill me.
You have nothing.
They're not allowed to give away details of tactics and operational details, but they are very critical.
Israel is not a democratic nation. That's obvious to the world.
Addressing him is nonsense. Like all these.
I know. The Palestinians are not human beings. I know, Daniel.
I think. Again, it's in your head. It's like you're living in a.
No, but these are the kinds of things you say, Daniel. You say that they want war, they don't want peace.
No, he didn't say that. It's just based on behavior.
Norm says he doesn't say it.
Aziz, forget what I said, okay? What do the Palestinians want? Do you even know what the Palestinians want?
Listen.
Can you tell me what is from the river to the sea?
Right.
What is from the river to the sea?
Confusion is coming from because there is.
I'm not confused. I'm not. Imagine with all due respect. Okay.
Not confusion. Let's say your perspectives. My apologies. I understand where your perspective is coming from because there is such representation among the Palestinian society that is speaking and acting in the way that you think. But what you're not realizing is all the millions who are actually silent because they are being silenced either because of there are multiple reasons why they're being silenced, and that's exactly what the issue is. Many families. I'm also aware. I'm sorry.
Why are they silenced?
I mean, there's an entire mechanism that silences Palestinians, which is a whole conversation on its own, maybe we'll get into. But what I'm trying to get to is that you're painting the Palestinians all with one white brush, and I do think that many more Palestinians want the same thing that you want, which is peace and to just live and to have dignity in living. So not everyone is ideologically driven.
No. It's a bit more complicated. This. But first of all, of course, you are right. Okay, there are Palestinians. I even met them. Okay, so there are those. The problem is, first of all, they are not being silenced. Like you could say, as I claim, that in Gaza, yes, you don't have freedom of speech, but there are millions of Palestinians in the world, or the pro-Palestinian movement. They are not oppressed. They could speak out, and they choose not to. And the Arabs that do call for coexistence are automatically labeled as traitors, as collaborators, as Zionists.
Let me speak.
Let me finish. You will let me finish, and then you will speak.
Go ahead.
And that is the problem. The voices that are calling for peace within the Palestinian society, or for coexistence, or for recognizing Israel, are, and you should know this, are being labeled as collaborators, are being silenced.
Okay, gaslit by you.
Okay, can I speak now?
That is definitely one truth. And Laos, would love to hear from you as well. But just a quick note that that does exist, but that's not all the Palestinians.
Wait. I finished UFT and I'm.
But you heard that Edward immediately said that I was gaslighting. The problem. Let me just finish it and I will pass it.
Oh my God.
One second.
I mute everybody. When I hear a new voice, especially of a woman, I want to know what you have to say to the room. Let Lau to speak, please. Lau, speak.
Thank you so much. I finished UFT from specializing political science and I'm expert, okay? What you're talking about is bullshit. Give me a resource what are you talking about, Daniel? Thank you.
First of all, I don't care about your degrees. They don't impress me.
You are just CBC reader.
Relax. I don't know what is CBC. And claims for what? Just relax. Have a normal conversation. Don't need to attack me personally. What do you want facts for that you think is bullshit that I said?
Show me your resources, like where you came from, like prove your argument. Thank you.
What don't you agree with? What did I say?
Prove your argument.
What did I say? What did I say that is bullshit?
I don't know. You're bullshit. BS.
Okay, thank
You
you.
don't know
So,
this.
Amos, that was amazing. That was an amazing contribution. Thank you very much, Lord.
It's a step higher than what you said, Daniel. I'm very happy with it. It was very concise. It was very concise.
BS.
You know how to summarize.
BS.
Amazing.
So guys, of the aid workers, they were.
Okay, let me speak. Aziz, подожди. Aziz.
I'll let you speak 1 second. I just want to speak. I just want to say something. This is a fact. Of the aid workers that were found, they were bound by their arms, they were tied up, they were shot from close range.
We heard this already. We moved past
one second.
Stop gaslighting.
1 second. We've had October 7. We've had October 7. Don't bring up October 7 ever again.
Let me.
1 second. Don't speak
Where's the ammunition? The Israeli ammunition?
Switzerland also commented on it. We're going to definitely get back to you. A very interesting point what you were making, but let Laos just finish her comments as well.
Okay, I did research. Yeah, thank you. I did research, and UN promised Palestinians some land. And anyways, what I wanted to say is that UN basically promised something, okay? And because of UN promises, Palestinians and Israeli fighting right now because of UN. And what I wanted to say is, my point is that UN is not taking their responsibility, and they need to solve this problem, because otherwise this Palestinian and Israel keep fighting.
The UN created this problem.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about October 7th again, because we've heard it before, because obviously we're not to talk about things we've heard.
UN has created this
don't bring that up ever again. Thank you.
UN created this chaos.
Because I wanted to talk about the aid workers, but we've heard it before.
Wait, 1 second. Can I let me speak? Can I let me speak?
Fucking weirdos, man. Disgusting, man.
Excuse me, patriarchy, блядь. Let me speak.
You can definitely let yourself
finish. Let me finish.
Yeah, let yourself
okay. What I wanted to say is that UN created this chaos. You need to solve this problem. Otherwise, this issue keep going. Thank you.
But the UN wants to keep this issue going. This is why they created the issue.
UN promised Israeli to land, and they borrowed this land from Palestinians,
Israel
and
did
now
not
they keep
promise anything.
fighting. Wait,
this is not what happened, Lord.
The UN. Who told you this history?
Can someone speak up, please? Thank you.
Where did you read this history that the UN gave Israel the land?
From University of Toronto. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Okay, so...
Wow.
That's literally not what happened.
Okay, scholarly article says, academic article says, UN promised Israeli land, and because of this land, Palestinian. But wait 1 second. Palestinians are fighting because they think that their land.
Put a link in the chat to this scholarly article.
Just check. Just check UN.
Universities.
Can you put a link?
Laws,
Just
can you
check.
put a link?
Just Yaakov.
Right, so
Yaakov.
Laos, if you find the link from a credible source, I'm happy to put it to pin it.
But wait. Yes, sure, I will do that. One second.
So meanwhile, maybe we can go circle back to what Aziz was saying earlier, and then you can find the link, and if it's a credible source, we'll put it as a pin. And welcome Aquarius as well.
Yeah, we heard about Aziz's propaganda story. We're talking bigger picture here about what the resolution is. And the Israeli side is saying we want peace, and now we're waiting to hear what the Palestinian side wants.
The Palestinian side wants that we decide for them, but also that they are not our children.
All I have to say is if you look at Israel, you'll see throughout the world there'll be Israelis arguing on what's the best way to do it. There'll be like the peaceniks, they want Israel out of Gaza. They'll have the ones that want the more extreme. They'll have the in between. Everybody has different opinions, and in Israel you're allowed to say all of them. You're allowed to protest, thousands protests. But what I am seeing from the Palestinian side is almost like very monolithic when it comes to this area. It's like this extreme, like we may not like H group, but this is our only option, and we want them to continue fighting. And there's no talk about peace or giving up. I mean, that's basically what I've been seeing. And when you have everybody everybody's trying to be more extreme than the rest. And the second somebody tries to somehow be more moderate, everybody I've seen it on social media. Everybody just basically ostracized them. So how can you negotiate with people like that?
Look at the charter. Look at what it says. It is an Islamic, war, and it's insane. I mean, if you actually read the documentation on what Hamas stands for as a political movement, I mean, this is just a superficial conversation that doesn't have any details. That's the unfortunate thing about Clown House.
Aquarius and comedy, do you know any single Palestinians do you have Palestinian friends at all in your circles?
I personally don't, but I've been on social media for already 3 years.
Guys, can you read my article?
I've been on social media for 3 years, and I've seen the moderate Palestinians, and they are completely ostracized and bullied and doxxed for coming up with anything more moderate than the other ones. Again, I don't know any personal ones, which obviously is that would be the best. But from what I've been seeing, as opposed to the Jewish groups, you'll see a whole bunch of different opinions. People have it's the liberals, the Democrats, the conservatives, the Ben Gavirs. It's one big mix of different type of thoughts. But when it comes to the Palestinian side, it's just like this resist. Israelis are schmatzis, G-side, baby killers. It's the same propaganda over and over and over again, and there's nobody that gets up, and groups that get up and say, you know what, let's stop with all this talk, and let's try to demand that this extremist group step down. Let's demand that, IDF, they don't like the IDF. The IDF should get out of there. And let's talk. Let's try to have a little bit of a nuanced way of thinking. And I don't see that.
So who is the Palestinian leader right now that's offering peace, out of curiosity? Or is there such a person? Anybody, please?
I think Israel killed the chief negotiator for that kind of.
So Israel killed a member of Hamas. Where is the Palestinian? Remember,
no,
legitimate. Hang on, Aziz. Listen to the facts, Aziz. You're going to learn now. The legitimate representative of the Palestinian people is called the Palestinian Authority. You should write this down, Aziz, because I know you don't know much about this. So where is the representative of the Palestinian people calling for peace? And I'm not asking you, Aziz, because I know you don't know, but anybody else in the room. I'll say it again. Where is the representative of the Palestinian people who are asking for peace? Where is our partner for peace? If there is one.
I do believe that there are many leaders in Palestinian community that are actively promoting peace, and I do believe that the Palestinian Authority, they're considered by many Palestinians
yeah, I mean, they do kind of promote this idea of two states, and like when there's any type of violence on the checkpoints, the Palestinian Authority tend to also be there to de-escalate. So they're calling for
So what is the name of the person?
And just a second, and they've also called for a diplomatic approach to finding a solution forward. But the same question that Palestinians are having.
Wait, Matt, who is the person asking for peace right now? I still ask you that question.
I mean, first of all, Abu Mazen, as you know, is the head of the state.
Yes,
but
is he
also
asking
living,
for peace?
Yes, over and over again.
Okay. Show us where he gets peace.
And also, there are many Palestinian peace activists. One of them, mainly, I can think of, is Aziz. Aziz has been very outspoken. He's going, speaking all across the U.S. Him and an Israeli, and they're calling out for peace.
I don't mean a person who's an activist. I mean a representative of the Palestinian people who are offering peace.
Yeah, I think that the head of the Palestinian Authority is a very reasonable person, and he's not.
He may be. Has he offered peace?
And they're not promoting violence in any shape or form. So I think that that's really important to mention, and also that there's a lot of silence.
When did he offer peace? When did he offer peace?
I mean, over and over. Like, you just have to look at the public rhetoric.
Let's just take a look at the last time.
Norm, I'm not here to argue back and forth. I'm giving you.
Wait. Let me speak, okay? Okay.
Let's see the peace offer.
Okay. Roots of the conflict is going deeper, like colonizing Zionist immigration. So it's all about local. Okay. It's all about
peace laws.
Yeah.
About peace.
But wait. It's all about local Arabic resistance going back to early 1900s.
Laws. There's a question on the floor about a peace offer. Do you have an answer to the question?
British offered a peace, but the British offered peace. British offered peace. During the 1900s, okay?
I mean now.
Okay, UN tried to offer diplomatic solution from two sides, but wait.
To this war, right now.
Right now, they don't want diplomatic solutions because both of them are fighting right now. Thank you.
You're saying Palestine does not want a diplomatic solution right now? They want to fight? Is that your...
Yeah, because they are representing the Hamas and keep going with Hamas. Thank you.
Okay.
I don't even understand what you're trying to say.
Very handy. Laos, thank you for your contribution.
Thank you.
So can I look up this peace offer, Matt?
Just check online, okay?
I don't care to, I don't care to
I'll look it up.
try to. No, just a second, Norm. I don't care to try to go and find and research. So every time I say something, that I have to back it up with evidence and a thesis, educational. No, I know what I know because I go up there because I have genuine conversations with myself.
I know what I know.
And if
I ask you for a peace offer, your answer is I know what I know.
No. I answered you multiple times, but the question that
Abu Mazen wants peace. Show me what he's
also who is the peace partner on the Israeli side? Because after Yitzhak Rabin was killed, there was a right-wing agenda that didn't.
Netanyahu.
He's no partner for peace. Not
where's the offer for
peace? He's the most racist pig that
Never mind, you don't like him, but he's the prime minister. So where's the offer on the other side? Who are we negotiating with right now?
Clearly not been following the public rhetoric and what.
Wait, no. Who are we negotiating with right now?
Right.
Who should we pick up the phone and talk to?
Right. Who can you get? That's a great question. Well, first of all, Palestinians are not in control of their own destiny. So you have to understand that there is no, because the Palestinian Authority is not even a government. The head of the Palestinian Authority is not even really a prime minister. They don't have solid power to
negotiate
come
on
to the
behalf
tables
of the
with
Palestinian
Israel.
people. Are you telling me that Abu Mazen couldn't offer peace?
Yo, Maj, can I just interrupt here? Maj, have you ever read a document of general principles, which is the Islamic resistance movement known as Hamas? Have you actually read their document? It's a 17-point document. I just read it for the first time in my life. You do realize this is an Islamic extremist movement, right? It's not just about freeing Palestine. It's about an Islamic extremist movement liberating a spirit known as Palestine through mujahideen or terrorism. Have you actually really read the Islamic Charter of Hamas? Have you read it? I just read it.
Right. Well, comedy, don't question my knowledge on Palestine, Israel, first of all.
Wait.
Let
me speak. There's unwanted, a Palestinian reflex, they're crazy. They're fails address the root causes of injustice. Thank you.
We would love to hear what you have to say, but I wasn't asked a question that I'd like her to respond to. I hear comedy what you're saying, and earlier in the room, I was saying there is definitely an element of extremism when it comes to a religious component in the Israel-Palestine situation here. But that extremist, how do you say it, element also very much exists in the Israeli society, and that's something that Norm here and Daniel and Yirmiyahu seem to not bring to the table or bring to the conversation.
What am I not bringing to the table?
So since it's there was no genuine interest in peace and making peace with the Palestinians. There's only been more land grabs. There's only been more.
We didn't have 8 peace conferences.
No. This is all a game. This is all a trick from the game. In my perspective. Norm, in my perspective, from what I've seen, right? But I do.
So you don't want diplomacy then? That's the trick.
No. I'm one. Go ahead, Daniel.
The both sides argument doesn't really work. Yes, there are elements. The Israeli society, there are all kinds of elements. But to compare a minor group of like a faction to a majority, this is when you are lying to yourself. Now, regarding the peace and whatnot, the Israeli society, if they will, again, I don't think that you guys really understand how serious I am when I say that we want security and peace. If the Israelis don't want to go to the army, don't want to be in checkpoints and in Gaza and do like 500 reserve day, okay?
Yo, Chris, people are leaving messages on my YouTube chat saying, what the fuck does this have to do with Longmont Potion Castle? People are pissed that I'm like putting up fake LPC. They're like using the hashtag LPC. It's like causing chaos in the LPC world. They can't tell if it's a prank call or not.
So if we will see an effort, even the slightest effort towards it, then we will be convinced. But I will tell you that me, as a person that
people think everything's a prank call,
solution, and very much like believing in like, you know, coexistence. Yes, we just need to do this and just need to do this and
found some comedy that you really enjoy.
Yeah, because I've been prank calling since high school. I would prank call people. I figured out a way. There was an app called Phone to Phone or Net to Phone, and you could connect any 2 numbers for free. So I would sit in the library and I would like call the secretary's desk and then have it call the dean's office, and then she'd be like, hello, this is Susan. And they'd be like, hi, this is Janet. Like, how can I help you, Janet? Susan, why are you like, oh my. So eventually they realized somebody was like maliciously connecting the telephones throughout the school. They literally called the FBI to try to figure out like why their entire phone network in the high school went into chaos. But it was me. It was all me. I caused the school to actually have total chaos because like it was wasting everybody's time and they were going bananas.
You just gaslit.
There was no occupation in 1967. There was no occupation.
No, that was an example.
Hang on a second.
Just to clear it, just an example. It's not binary. Does it exist or not? How do we actually when we have a terrorist, for example, Baruch Goldstein, we call him a terrorist. We don't name streets after him and teach him at school as
Can Amos get it back?
We prosecute
Can Amos get it back? Can Amos get it back?
Oh, well, just a second Wednesday. I don't know why he went down because I definitely
get him back up, and this is his room.
I want to address something in the chat. Yakov, click through to the PDF and you can see the updated version actually published by Hamas.
Right. Well,
So
just
you would check. He's my
They
second
updated it
favorite
so
line.
the
It
Western
was
pharmacy still
So there was no occupation.
So guys, just FYI, I don't know what happened to Amos. He went down the audience, and I think he may think that
Maybe he's sleeping.
I didn't.
Thank you.
No, he's not sleeping. He just went in a mirror and said you took over his room.
No, I didn't take over anybody's room. I don't give a shit to take over people's rooms.
He just came in and told us that.
Right.
Thank you.
So there was no occupation. So please don't.
Thank you. I don't want to talk about
Well, he said that. No, give his room back.
I'm sure. If he's in the room, he's welcome to come up. But I don't.
He's the mod. Let him mod.
Yeah, he's not in the audience.
Have a mod anymore.
Yeah, Maj is the mod.
You went somehow down the audience. So I don't know what happened.
So there was no occupation. Thank you, Madge. Thank you. So there was no occupation in 1967. The Arabs attacked anyway. We completely withdrew from Gaza, and the result is what you see today. So it does not seem that the occupation is the reason for all these problems, and it does not seem like you want to
Edward
state.
still in here? No.
Because when you had territory, you turned it into a
Jews.
terror tunnel, honeycombed weapon to kill Jews. So you don't have any credibility when it says either that the occupation is your reason for attacking or that you want to have a state. What you wanted was Gaza. You got Gaza, and now we're going to destroy this weapon that you created to kill Jews. So you're going to have to come up with another argument. Nor has anybody said to me one time, who are we supposed to talk to? The only representative that I know of the Palestinian people is Abu Mazen. Where is he? Is he in favor of October 7th? Did he condemn it? Is he opposed to it? Is he leading the Palestinian people? If you have
Norm, just a second, because Amos is here and he's raising the hand.
If you have it, but I'm making some important.
No, just a second.
But if you have no leader,
Amos, I didn't say. Just a second. Amos, I didn't send you down the audience. I don't know why you're down the audience. So, and I'm trying to let you back up, but it's not. Yeah, like I don't know what's going on. I'm inviting you up.
You just have to exit the room and then come back and.
The user has already been invited to this room. That's what it says when I invite you.
Yeah, well, that's because there's only
Let's get the mod to our normal, and our normal can do it.
Hold on. Maj, you can change your room.
Yeah, I can bring him up.
Hold on 1 second.
Actually, Maj, why don't you give me the green bean? I'll bring him up and I'll set myself down.
Hold on 1 second. Maj, you can change your room type so you don't need to raise your hands and then you can just unmute and come up.
So I'm going to mod Linda. Linda, are you there? If I mod you, maybe you're gonna be able to bring him up.
Just mod Daniel. Okay. Daniel's a super mod. Or mod El Norma. Who cares?
I'll do it. Yachai, don't give it to me.
Don't mod a woman. Don't mod a woman.
We have our quota of Palestinian.
I promise.
Wallahi, this is a minion.
This is Yaakov. I'm happy to.
Yeah, you can mod me for a second.
Oh, Yaakov.
Not you. Actually, Yaakov, can I mod you?
Yeah, sure.
And then you can bring up Norm. Yeah, I have no clue what happened, but
bring up Norm.
Almost. I'm so used to sending Norm down the audience that I spoke. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, almost.
Okay, so 3 important points. Once again, there was enough with the conversation about moderation.
Change your room type.
Okay, I just
come up by himself.
Okay, hold on now. Let me make a mod.
Okay, you don't have to say it out loud, Yaakov.
Oh, you did it. Okay.
Correct.
Oh,
so there was no occupation. So there was no occupation in 1967, but the Arabs attacked anyway. So obviously that's not a plausible explanation for the violence from the Palestinians. And there were no Jews in
Pepe's
Gaza.
here. Pepe would be good for long run.
You had your model for a Palestinian
Pepe's like a
state
perfect
that was
long
Gaza. We withdrew from it, and you turned it into a weapon to kill Jews. So there is no indication.
Actually, Norm would be a good long mod too.
To your neighbors, and there is no
See if I can fulfill any more of these
as a
long
reason
mods.
for the violence that has ensued. Finally, we have nobody to talk to. Is Abu Mazen in favor of the October 7th or against it? Is he offering peace? Or does he pay people when they kill Jews? So I say we're in a very bad position now. We have nobody to talk to, and we're now completing a war against Gaza in order to eliminate the terroristic weapon that the Palestinians have turned Gaza into. We have a big problem on our hands now, and it looks like it's going in one direction. I don't see any Palestinians asking for peace.
Okay, I take the microphone before I go. I don't understand what's happened here. I remove but he can come back, not as a moderator.
I'd like to troll Copeland for sure.
But
Pepe's here. Pepe is.
I don't to go inside.
Pepe's the target of the Longmont Potion Castle podcast.
Maybe it's not him. Maybe it's Clubhouse. I really don't know who to trust. Not to trust.
What's the problem? What's the problem, Amos?
El Normo, you can't expect people to depoliticize. I mean, there can be no peace unless people depoliticize. Essentially, you just see the aggressive attitude, for a very long time, and you don't see it. Like you said, you don't see Palestinians here asking for peace on this app, and you don't see them asking for it in the media. You just see conflict. They just bring gaslight, and that's it.
Blah blah blah. Amos, you got your okay. Just checking. All right, bye.
Where's the person asking for peace?
Stay here Wednesday. Stay with me. At least 5-10 minutes. I go to sleep.
Then I have to hear this stupid idiot comedy. He's a fucking jerk.
No, stay here. Stay.
Oh, by the way, I'm eating some kosher candy, guys. It's very good.
Where's the partner for peace?
None. No peace.
Maybe Dr. Pepe can illuminate us as to how to achieve peace and coexistence now.
Yeah, right. I don't think anybody knows that, honestly.
Anyway, I want you to know that even in
That
the
was
last 1 hour somebody saw me out of the room. I don't understand if it is Clubhouse or it's him, because he say it's not me. So if he say it's not me, I don't know how it's happened that I've been. I did go outside to travel, but I couldn't come back. Maybe it is Clubhouse.
I think it was by mistake. Maj swore up and down he didn't do it several times. And if you want me to go to the audience, I can.
No, I go to sleep, and I want you to stay and give a moderator to somebody you trust. And I want to say that I like this room tonight. And that's even, and I didn't like that he saw this woman, Kurdistan, that cursing the Palestinian that they cooperate with Saddam Hussein and they kill their people and babies and everything. So she cursed a little bit, big deal. You see, I give Shuki to curse me. He come here and sing. If he's not interfering, then I remove him. But I only remove to the audience. I never throw out. If I throw out, that you cannot come back. And my believing that everybody is we are the most crazy people. Each one of us who are in the virtual life is a little bit crazy. Otherwise, he wouldn't be here. This is not a place for human beings. It's a place for virtual people who have nothing else to do. They come to waste time in a clubhouse and arguments and blah, 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 bullshit. Like me, I'm also a little bit crazy.
No, Amos, I come here to learn about human brain science, psychology, wisdom, philosophy. I mean, there's so many learned scholars on this app, like El Normo, Dr. Pepe, Daniel, and others. And, we're blessed to have their perspectives and insight. And I say that truthfully, but maybe not about Pepe.
I believe you're a kind of comedy. I believe that your profession is a psychiater or something like that. The way you are speaking and everything, I believe people till I find them liars. I believe. And what I wanted...
I do the same thing.
It's the only way to listen to people, to make arguments, to curse a little bit. This is the only way of somehow coexistence. Even that I'm so pessimistic, so not believe about what I'm myself doing. I don't believe in myself. But I say that there is no other opportunity. Only when Donald Trump now will put the ass on the table, the joker, the ass, whatever you call it, and he say, Bibi, enough is enough. And when he tell Bibi right now feel free to go and attack, he's afraid from the Israelis. If somebody know what is Miluim, he didn't call the Miluim to the military. He only using the young and the army must obey to Bibi orders, but there is no solution without taking the military out of Gaza, releasing the hostages, giving security to all the Nukhbot who left alive that keep our hostages, and give them some going out of this situation, because if we will not give them security for their life, they will not release the hostage. Go inside the red. There is a fight against Israeli, and today they fight against their own people. Put yourself as a Nukhba, as somebody controlling the hostages. He knows that he's dead. So, what does he care to keep on? So the same Bibi Netanyahu, the day he finished the war, he go to prison. There is any other opportunity. He have a court for the rest of his life. He must be in Israel and must be in court. Every day, 3 times a week, you have to go and give it a testimony. Only his 3 files. I'm not talking about the war and about the investigation of the war of the 7th of October and on the rubbish right now in Kuwait investigate. Call it Kuwait Gate in Hebrew. He's finished. But the question is, Donald Trump will decide when he will be finished. And when Donald Trump will close the water of the dollars to Israel, he said, Bibi, enough, take your army outside. Then Bibi will say, we win. And Hamas release Naryakov, the room. I listen to you a little bit and I go to sleep after. But thank you, this room was very satisfaction for me tonight.
Okay, the Amos. Good night. Sleep well.
Well, now that we've confirmed Clown House is a place where people come to waste all their time because they have nothing better to do, I'm just wondering if there is a coordinated strike on Iran, in conjunction with liberating the hostages. I mean, doesn't that seem like the natural outcome of an Islamic terrorist group supported by Iran? I mean, you can't just hit one and not hit the other. You got to hit its big brother, right? That's the way I'm thinking.
So the window of peace is losing because I just saw from the Israeli channel, Turkey already moved forces into Syria, right?
Southern Syria.
Yeah, so southern Syria is even worse, right? So if Trump attacked Iran, right, this is attack not from the Arabic nation point of view. This is you attack one, you attack all, right? So Turkey, Syria, Iran will have to respond. No more just Iran respond. Iran already said we're going to respond, and then all the Western.
Turkey is not Arab, and neither is Iran.
Okay, I understand. But the key idea is Iran is getting weak. Syria is getting weak. Iran used to be the mother of Octobers with all the tentacle to Hamas, Hezbollah, UT, and all this thing. Now it's getting weak, right? So this is an opportunity for the second person used to be second person to jump to the first position, and that is Turkey Sunni, right? And this is why and Erdogan has been always very ambitious for this position, and now is the opportunity, even with all the opposition coming from within Turkey. But since for many months, Turkey has been moving the society toward more Islam, more extreme Islam. So that's one of the reasons for the opposition party, because they do not want where Erdogan is bringing them. They are fighting back. So this is one of the silver lining. There is opposition in Turkey, but Erdogan is going to finish the job. He started saying we got to destroy Israel since August. Now he's trying again because of the
Yeah, you there? I've been looking at buying some property. property next to you, and I've been hearing too much sound.
I don't know who you are.
I said there's too much chaos. It sounds like a god being beat.
I don't know what you want.
Why don't you just button your lip? No. I didn't care for it. I did not care for it.
If you were looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
Yeah, there's going to be some spills, so I get a hold of you.
Skills I have acquired over a very long career.
Okay.
Shit under control in Syria, and it has been for decades.
They've already, he's already 8 months ago or so said that they would take care of Israel like they took care of the area between Armenia and Azerbaijan, the Nagorno-Karabakh, and like they said in Libya, which they really didn't do much in Libya. That was sort of a peacekeeping mission.
Do you think that do you think it was more than saber rattling?
Yeah, it's saber rattling, but now you've got the troops setting up anti-aircraft missile sites in southern Syria. So it's a very provocative move.
And US is sending submarine and additional aircraft carrier. Basically, 3 aircraft carrier now, and a submarine which has capacity of 40 to 60 warhead missile, right?
Tomahawk cruise missiles.
Yeah, exactly. So if we still focus on Gaza, basically you're missing the big picture, right?
So Dave was in my other room, Longmont Potion Castle podcast. That's Asian guy.
Well, Dave, this happens all the time.
And normally, during August 2024, what happened to, this is the lowest point since October 7, because for the first time I monitor, there's so many rabbis in Israel say, I want to commit suicide because they can't take it anymore. And during this time, the one pushing and making them like, I really need to commit suicide, right? The Muslim rabbi. And this is the religious law. It started 1,400 years, and everyone wants to finish it once and for all.
What I was going to say, Dave, is that larger powers like Iran, or the Soviet Union before them, use Palestinian people or the Arabs of
Robert, are you laughing at what he just said? It's like, did anybody even hear what he just said? I think people just ignored it, right?
But there are people. I mean, come on.
I say they're people. I don't know if they're a people. There's no evidence that they were Arab people.
Come on.
Some coexistence, even that I'm so pessimistic, so not believe about what I'm myself doing.
Some of these videos just explode like that. 174 views in just like a couple minutes. I don't know why.
Powers like the United States or Israel, and then discard them when they suffer the consequences.
I think it's because it's comedy. I'm labeling everything comedy now, Shtini.
It was a
seems to be
massive
helping
play
with total
by
views.
Iran to send these Palestinian people to their death. They knew very well that Israel would respond. They took advantage of this desire of some of these guys like Sinwar to create this whole orgy of death and destruction. And this is the result that we're seeing. And we've seen it over and over and over again.
Can I ask you a question? Do you believe that Jordanians exist? That Jordanians exist, Lebanese exists, Iraqi identity exists. Why wouldn't that be true then, or ring true to the people living in the Holy Land? Could it be that because Arabs living in the Holy Land, their identity as Palestinians are at odds with an Israeli identity? Like, why would you recognize Lebanese and Jordanian, but not a Palestinian identity?
We started off believing in these guys. No, look, there's Yazidis, there's Samaritans, there's Armenians.
But when it comes to Palestinians are just Arabs, right?
There's Jews. Well, no, the question is whether there's supposed to be a state.
The question is, what are the Palestinian people?
They're obviously a group of people in a geographic area. I don't know.
And I can tell you that Palestinian people are all the generations that passed through the land. And for a bit, there are Palestinian families like the Nashashibi, like Shaheen.
I've never seen any mention of them ever,
Over
man.
time, Madison learned to bring its voice.
I've never seen any mention of such a people until like 1964, frankly.
Only directing the positive
people living.
Yeah, what would you like me to read? Which book, Madge?
Basically, the ethnic cleansing of Palestine, but then you may be very triggered and but
no, I don't get triggered. I'm like a doctor. I'll remove a cancer. So you want me to read a propaganda piece about demonizing Israel?
No,
it was written before 1964. It was written before 1964. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
So we have some mention of.
What we got is a bunch of.
Not Arab. Iran is not Arab. Arab are useful idiots, right? The best useful idiot are Palestine. Iran is not Arab. Iran is Persian, and they need useful idiot. The first idiots are the Hamas and Palestine. The second layer of idiot are those in the West. Those protesting in the campus. These are useful idiots, but the best idiot are Palestine.
Yeah. But what we're talking now is the bigger picture of Iran and Turkey. The Palestinians were used by Iran to provoke this regional conflict, and now they're getting it. Do you think anybody really going to advocate for them now? There's not even a leader. I mean, the whole situation is tragic and absurd, I have to say.
It's very tragic. Arab are just pieces on the chessboard. The big player are Iran and Turkey. They are not Arab. Arab fight among themselves. Best for using as a chess piece. You play now. Yeah, you just play. They are just fighting, and they are just useful. They are super useful idiots, and they are being controlled by non-Arab, which is Persian and Turkey. That's how stupid the situation, and mostly tragic.
Dave, I think you did seem to forget to mention also the U.S., which is has major interest in the region.
U.S. is the big Satan for Iran. Iran say we want to destroy big Satan, and in doing so we need a lot of useful idiots, and the Arab are the best useful idiots, and then we infiltrate U.S. University and have a lot of Western American campus useful idiots. That's
started over the past 20 years with Qatari funding to the tune of $10 billion.
2005, start building tunnel, everything. You're the best useful idiot. That is how sad and tragic.
I always wonder this question. Does the counselor go to a counselor?
Absolutely. And the motivation started 1,400 years ago, the unfinished business between Shia and Sunni. This is not me, these are the scholars, Islam scholars.
Because otherwise, how am I going to be able to, how are you going to relate?
What is shocking to me is that they're still debating this nonsense like this Aziz plan.
They are being played. It's tragic.
So they're going through with this like, come on, you killed us, Meanwhile, the story is over, and you're still trying to sell.
October 7th is over.
You're still trying to sell the same.
October 7th is over, Norm.
Gaza is over, Aziz. That's what you're not facing.
I mean, it's not. Unfortunately, it's not. Though it's not over. It's still ongoing with the hostages.
It's easy for a third party to say it's over.
There's a slim chance. I know. I don't know. You have no connection to this conversation.
There is an active investigation.
Excellent. Okay. We'll wait for those results. Thank you for letting us know. Yeah,
right.
That's a good idea.
So this is
we got it. Aziz, we got it. Aziz, we got it. Aziz, we're having a different conversation.
You're allowed to talk about the Nova Festival for 3 years.
We're having a different conversation.
No, it doesn't matter.
I'm glad you read an article. Good job to you.
No, I didn't.
You did a good job. Thank you.
Numerous reports.
I got it. You read an article. Good job.
Thank you.
The article actually doesn't support
You read a nice article.
short-range execution. Yes, but the article doesn't support your assertion. If you have an article that says it, the article says they were shot at close range. Don't have the ammunition type to tell whether it's Israeli versus Hamas, because they're different weaponry. It says that they fired at the van, which was driving erratically towards them. That's been a known tactic to use any type of vehicle to try to go up and explode it near troops. So they fired at them. Didn't say that they fired at them at close range, like execution style. Firing at a van sounds like something that's from a distance, or more than behind the head, which is execution style. So if you have an article that has evidence of what you're talking about, I'm happy to read it.
Yaakov, this is the thing. You're missing.
This has Hamas atrocity written all over it. They're known for slaughtering their own people. They're known for slaughtering their own people.
We're having a civilized conversation.
There's one factor though. What happened in Gaza is that unfortunately they did massacre, and that human life in Palestine is deemed, like that human life is basically.
So Yaakov,
Also, can I give some information about what
Hold on. Okay, let's have a one minute.
That's not happening.
Policy.
Guys, Yaakov, in reference to the article, right?
I read through the article and it didn't support what you said.
There are other articles. I don't want to keep arguing with some articles.
I can give some information about this.
Daniel,
be quiet.
hold on, let Daniel add some information. 1 second. Let's let Daniel add some information.
I don't think it's so triggering that soldiers there have so much hatred that they would actually do this.
Let me just address what Yaakov said.
No, we said it
very briefly, very quickly. As
you're stuck on
What are you afraid of? Why are you scared?
Aziz, I'm afraid of being bored by your foolishness. I'm terrified of the lack of intelligence.
Can you summarize in 30 seconds?
Okay, take your 30 seconds quickly, Aziz.
Be quiet.
Yaakov is much nicer to you than I would be.
Thank you, Yaakov.
Yaakov is much nicer to you than I would be.
Bro,
Aziz, if this room isn't a good fit for you, Aziz, then go find another room.
So, Aziz, for 30 seconds, and then let's hear from you.
Go ahead. Thank you. I'm trying to be civilized here. So, in reference
you're failing.
1 second, no, just
30 seconds, though. Go ahead.
Control yourself. So cool. The article says that Israel has confirmed that they shot at the vehicle, right? So this is the timeline, and this is what actually happened. And Israel confirms what's happened. There's only two things they haven't confirmed or denied, right? So an ambulance is supposedly driving towards them. The only survivor was in the back of the ambulance. He ducked and survived. So they killed the two drivers, right? 13 aid workers came to recover the bodies. They were also killed. Those 15 in totality were buried in a grave with the vehicles. The vehicles don't have bullet holes on them, and then so this is a fact. Israel said we've shot at them because they were coming towards us. The witness said we weren't moving. The witness says the witness says we were not moving. We were staying.
Okay, thank you for your 30 seconds.
Thank you very much.
This is like the fourth time he's offending on the same
You're terrified.
Thank you, Aziz. Thank you.
Guys,
30 seconds. Good job. Thank you, Aziz. We'll see you in a little bit. Thanks, Aziz.
You're a coward.
Thank you, Aziz. Thank you. I know.
Part of that is
You'll always be afraid of.
Thank you very much. I know.
Okay.
Put fear in your heart. You know that, right?
Terrified. Yes. Thank you.
Aziz, is there anything else you wanted to add to that? Are you done?
Yeah. So I just wanted to say, so look, more evidence is coming out, but.
Okay, let's wait till the final. Let's wait till all of the. Daniel, can you give us more information?
So I was gonna say.
No, you finished.
No, just shut up.
Now it's Daniel.
Shut up. No,
You finished.
Like you say something that happened,
no.
I want to hear
tries
from
to
Daniel now.
basically create like a different narrative.
Right, so let's hit the different narrative argument.
Quiet, Aziz. Quiet.
Norm,
You finished your time.
Norm, can you let him
Follow up the story. Thank you for your
Norm,
contribution.
Daniel wants
Norm,
This
one
could
mic
be
for
your
Daniel.
little story.
Norm, shut up. Let Daniel
This could be your little story.
Shut up,
You guys be
Shut up.
quiet.
Let Daniel speak.
Just
Thank you,
Daniel.
Aziz.
Thank you, Norm.
Okay, so basically, again, we have an article there that the only source that we have is Hamas. So we need to understand this, and so it's always like there's an event that happens.
No, it's Israel
like,
and the Red Crescent.
Aziz, it's not your turn. Try to be civilized.
Right.
I know it's a new
He's
thing
lied,
for you.
though. He's lied.
Okay, thank you, Aziz.
Okay, I can start by saying that everything I can say that everything that was said is nonsense, and now I will address it. Okay, so I said you don't need to stop and say I lied because basically this is my claim. That not okay.
Israel
so thank
confirmed
you.
it,
Thank you, Aziz. Thank you.
I confirm one thing. Just let
Do me a favor, Uncle. Send him down, because he's not going to let Daniel speak. Send him down.
Try.
Aziz, please.
Send him down.
I'll be quiet.
It's always the same.
Time to go down, Aziz. Time to be.
It's always the same thing. It's basically there's like a shred of truth, and then they create like this narrative around it. Now, Hamas is using, ambulances and press vests and everything, and it's a known fact, and anyone that says that they don't is like lying to themselves. But this event, I wonder if Aziz knows what time it was. I don't think he knows. The Guardian is basically just like eyewitness report or anecdotal claim, nothing that is evidence. Now, it was in the middle of the night. The ambulance, basically, they like coordination happening all the time. So this ambulance did it without coordination, in the middle of the night, without headlights, and without any other lights. The people that were killed were like, I have the name, I will find the name, Hamas terrorists. So that is the story. Now, in order, Hamas cannot be shamed to like say that, we used an ambulance and we killed one of our own. So they took the narrative and send it to like from Hamas to like the usual suspects. The Guardian is a usual suspect. They have a very low standards of like verification. You can see it like throughout 17 months. And this way, after they were buried, like no one would ask questions.
So where does it say this?
What
I'm saying is from an article. What you're saying, where does it say this?
What's your story?
Because you have to be careful.
Wow, you let me answer that question. Letting me answer, you just ask me 5 more times what is the source. Because you don't have any source.
I didn't realize you heard me, so go ahead.
No, it's like you and Aziz together ask me the same thing. Your source is basically a story that was published in the Guardian, okay? My source is basically the IDF giving like the whole information, including names and hours and the role of events. So this is an official source.
Get that?
And this
Can
is
we
like,
get that?
what?
Can we have a copy of that? Is
So
that
honestly,
you like
Did you say
No. The IDF
that
addressed it,
the
of course.
IDF was the source?
Yes.
And you think that they're a reliable source, not a skewed source that has military objectives? Like, I mean, it's coming a little ridiculous to think that they would tell you the full truth, especially when a story makes it internationally, that they would create a narrative to tell. And it's not uncommon, Daniel. Daniel, it's not uncommon that this has happened all throughout the war.
No, actually, no, it never happened.
The things that they've done in the hospital.
Matt, let him respond to this. Hold on. Let's not play bingo with this example, that example.
There were many allegations against the IDF like this one, but I can tell you that yes, I do believe the IDF because the IDF has accountability, responsibility. I know the moral code. I know the people and how they act there. And yes, it's not a political army. And yes, there are objectives, but fabricating. There are too many people involved. You need to understand that the IDF is like, we are all part of the IDF. It's not like a secret organization that is small. Okay? You cannot hide this kind of shit.
Can we get like an article?
Do you have an English language source you can pin?
Yeah.
Daniel?
I would strongly disagree with you, Daniel, unfortunately. But I also just want to add another thing. With all the public rhetoric that exists in Israel today, with the narrative that exists towards Palestinians, especially the one that assumes Palestinians are the Amalekites, which God tells David to go and kill all the mothers. So just a second, yes, but you're talking about authorities, but we're speaking about authorities that look at reality through the lens of 2,000-year script, and that's something that we cannot remove from the equation.
What are you talking
about?
Yeah,
The approach of starvation, water deprivation, the public
Professional army, he was referring to Hamas, not the Palestinians. And he was referring to remember the Amalekites, not kill the Amalekites. What's written in the Torah is remember in every generation, in every generation, remember the Amalekites.
And it's all about the IDF. I think that's not our man.
Daniel, I think that you don't have any reason to distrust the IDF since they're there for your security, but I do believe that...
No, I serve the IDF, dude.
That IDF is not a reliable source. And
much, with all due respect, okay? I literally serve, in a unit that is also working with part of the spokesman in wherever I was. Anybody that I know serve the IDF. I now have people in my life, in my family, my immediate family, that are in the IDF. With all due respect, I'm not being fed propaganda. I live on the ground. I know what's going on. I was part of the system for more than 3 years. Okay, I know the values. I know how it works. I know the mechanics inside. I know the systems of verification. And you're thinking it's like I don't know what you imagine. Hamas can do it.
It's not that I grew up in Jerusalem firsthand, and I saw amazing fire in front of me. When it comes down to conflict and narratives between the Palestinians and Israelis, when it comes down to specific, let's say, scenarios, and what the Palestinians were saying and what the Israelis were saying, and I do believe that there is ill intent coming from both sides, and that the majority of people...
I disagree with you.
Okay, well,
I disagree with you.
So let's resolve it this way.
But no, Norm, I wanted to just land my plane. I know I'm being intelligence more people. I do just want to mention one more thing. I mean, it's not so far-fetched that you have thousands of people in football matches like Bitar Yerushalayim yelling Mavet L'Arabim, death to Arabs, by the groves. It's a very popular slogan, and that today they're in the military, they're existing in Gaza, and that they're doing whatever the heck they want because the world doesn't care about what's going on.
That's why they're called hooligans. That's why they're called hooligans. Taking it off the ideas. Somebody
there's a fan of the football game. There's a fan of the football game. And there's an IDF soldier in uniform. It's not the same. You cannot compare a fan, a hooligan in a sports match to a soldier in uniform. It's like comparing them. It's ridiculous.
We've heard of Hamas. We've heard of the IDF.
We can try to go back to
your point of view. So pending further investigation, we've heard the 2 points of view about the story. There's no point obsessing about this story. We're talking about solutions.
Can you read what I'm putting in the chat? Can someone read what I'm putting in the chat?
Thank you everybody for your contribution. It's time to move on.
No, can you read what I put in the chat?
Let's move on. Let's move on from that.
Can you read what I put in?
We have one article and we have Daniel's inside information.
I think everyone can.
Yaakov, can you hear me?
Okay, last time.
It's funny. This is how I feel like
I know. I saw.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw. What is it?
Everyone is quiet.
We're open.
Okay, Yaakov. Okay, I'm going to read now what Daniel just sent me.
Thank you.
The IDF did not randomly attack an ambulance. Please don't interrupt. You can talk when I'm...
Yes, a lieutenant.
The IDF did not randomly attack an ambulance on March 23rd. Let me walk through what happened step by step. Number 1. Last Sunday, several uncoordinated vehicles were identified advancing suspiciously towards IDF troops without headlights or emergency signals. IDF troops then opened fire at the suspected vehicles. Earlier that day, cars that did not belong to terrorists were coordinated and passed safely on the same route. 2. Following an initial assessment, it was determined that the forces had eliminated a Hamas military operative, Mohammed Amin Ibrahim Shubraki, which took part in the October 7th massacre, along with 8 other terrorists from Hamas and the Islamic Jihad. 3. After coordination between the IDF and international organizations, the evacuation of bodies was carried out. It's truly not surprising that terrorists are once again exploiting medical facilities and equipment for their activities. When terrorists act in an active combat zone, we will do whatever it takes to protect our civilians and troops.
Can you post that?
It's posted in the chat. It's in the chat. I have to repeat the last part. When terrorists
You can cut and paste it.
Yes. When terrorists act on IDF forces, we will do whatever it takes in order to answer the threat. Now, because you can't control yourself, Aziz, when terrorists act in an active combat zone, we will do whatever it takes to protect our civilians and troops. So there you have it. So you wasted another hour of our time, Aziz. Good job.
So why did they bury the body?
Aziz.
Hold on, Aziz, that has not been determined who did that, so let's not speculate.
Yaakov, move the
Yes,
conversation
Jack.
along.
Yeah, I
Jack,
want to say
what do you want to talk about?
that
Jack?
this guy's story and his point of view of what happened, he's saying basically they saw a vehicle, suspicious vehicle, and later they confirmed this was an ambulance with no lights and no emergency signals heading towards them, advancing towards them suspiciously.
Containing October 7th terrorists.
They fire on this vehicle, right? And which is an ambulance. And then after they review and say, "Oh, we killed this guy. We didn't even know. We're saying actually we killed this guy." But even in their story, they're firing on ambulances, not knowing who's in there. For all they know, that could be a guy who's just had a
Because they had no headlights.
They found out afterwards.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you, Jack. If I was on military patrol and a car, even an ambulance where I'd expect at least headlights, let alone flashing signals, coming at me and driving erratically, which I assume to mean swerving, I'd probably fire on it too, to be completely honest.
Yeah, but
and it all depends on the rules of engagement. Daniel, can you discuss the rules of engagement?
To shoot at legs, or to shoot, not to shoot to kill, to shoot at what do you call the tires, and so it's and this is not the first time that this has been done, knowing that they would get away with doing what they're doing. That's not something that was
It's hard to aim a car driving fast. A car driving fast is hard to aim across the.
I'm not going to debate it anymore. We have your perspective. You have our perspective. Let's move on.
There is no use of force has always been centered.
Even the IDF when we see it, they shot at these people without knowing.
Yeah, but use of force has always been upper center mass for every fucking police department, every military. It's a lethal weapon. It's a point that where you're the most likely to fucking hit. So there's no shooting at the legs or any of that dumb shit.
No, everyone should have a bone breaking policy, bro. That's not true.
Let's move on.
I think we should move on. We have two different sides. Over time, additional facts will come out, and we'll end up seeing have full faith in the Israeli military. I think it's really hard to hide a conspiracy. Let me just leave it at that.
Not during war, I don't think so. Like, not necessarily a conspiracy theory about people on the moon or anything, but during war, I think there are things people do in their battalions that sometimes
find something outside. Okay, Jack, I hear you, Jack. Thank you, Jack. We moved on.
I appreciate your contribution. I understand.
Hi, this is a coexistence room. I'm wondering if there's anyone here who can give us a theory of coexistence. Thank you.
So I have little patience for
It's actually so funny. Like, I don't
I want
use a regular voice. Give us real content.
Talk to Marsh. I want to talk to Marsh. Marsh, what?
Does somebody else want to bring up a different topic? Let's move. Ambulance.
Not ambulance. I want to talk to Marsh. The different topic. Marsh, what we observe here is Aziz, you right? Don't trust the other side, correct? But you are bringing up Armalite, right? I mean, this is like, and then you say 2,000 years. All these are correct.
I never said
it's so difficult. Aziz, please. Aziz, you always destroy the future.
Don't talk to him, Dave. Just keep going, Dave. Keep going.
But you said my name. I never said that.
Somebody should
Just let him talk, and then you can respond, Aziz. Okay.
Mas, you see, the whole thing is if you look from Iran point of view and Turkey, you say this bunch of idiots, Arab destroying Arab arguing among themselves, Arab destroying the future of Arab, and so who is going to benefit? Iran and Turkey. So we should not argue for the sake of argue, but we have to see who is going to benefit, and in fact, because Iran and Turkey is going to benefit, and using Arab like a stupid idiot fighting Israeli, and we all should come together and see this is the common enemy. We kill them, then we can find peace. That is the future of coexistence.
You don't think that the Palestinians had a problem with Israel before Iran ended up coming into the picture?
Yes, but Iran is monopolized and opportunistic, and so is Turkey. They both are seeing these are a bunch of idiots. So it has been like this, and they know history repeats, and they make use of it.
So just for
if
clarification,
I was worried about Iran,
You wrap it up, Dave.
I think I would try to eliminate as much possibility of Iran capitalizing on people's suffering or whatever. You know, that's an incentive for peace, actually, if you're afraid of it.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't follow that.
Making peace with the Palestinians, I'm saying, for the Israeli government should be an incentive because it's one less place for Iran to park them.
So let me ask you an inverted question. As someone from the other side, what do you think Israel should accept? What should Israel's terms be to have a just and lasting peace?
Israel should accept that 51% of the population from river to the sea is not Jewish, and they should accept that what they did was fucked up, what they've been doing is fucked up, and try to make a permanent, long-standing solution that actually provides people with an opportunity in that region. Since they're the regional superpower, and they should care about their own citizens' safety, and their safety relies on peace in the region and peace in their country. So just doing right by their own people and the Palestinians.
I think the Jewish percentage inside of Israel is now about 74%.
could I reply to Dave quickly?
Aziz, please, you are killing your own.
I just want to reply to
Jack,
Dave.
you forgot the fact that, right?
Dave, you had your turn. Let Aziz respond to it.
Yaakov, by the way, that stat was from river to the sea on the 51%.
Yeah, I don't. I have multiple sources say it's about 73,
Judea and
74%.
Samaria, and we're not annexing your town, so that's not part of the.
I'm just talking about a
You guys are like moving,
Yeah, I understand
encroaching
where
on the
you're
West
coming
Bank. What the fuck are you talking about?
You were saying
What are you saying, Pepe?
I said, you guys are encroaching on the West Bank territories. It's not like you guys
We're not encroaching on it. It's Israel. We're not encroaching on it. We're not encroaching on it.
Well, you guys didn't make a state. You guys screwed up.
This is when you stop talking to an unreasonable person. This guy's
You made a reasonable person. When did you
He's
ever
an
own that land?
eighth-generation American.
No, when did you ever own that land?
There's Christians that have been there for
welcome to be
and
there.
they've stayed there for a couple thousand fucking years. And here you are saying like, oh no,
You can't work with two people talking at the same time.
They can stay there.
No, they can't. Not if they're getting their fucking homes taken.
Nobody's taking anybody's homes, Pepe. Nobody.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Wait,
you
you don't
just
need yourself for show.
Mayor, you're new to the room. Do you want to chime in here?
Yeah. Push out most of the Christians. Look at the Christian population of Bethlehem under Islam. It drops down, but
yeah, you think that's because of the Muslims?
That's not because of that's.
No, it's coincidentally happens to
No,
be
they.
the Muslims.
You guys love to deflect on it.
No, but they were. This is where I'll push back because this is there was several surveys or polls done. The main reason they said they had to leave is because of the occupation. Basically, how everything was blocked off. That economically it was making it impossible for them to get by. And in comparison to their Muslim neighbors, it's a lot easier for them for whatever reason to immigrate elsewhere. And so that's what they ended up having to do. It wasn't because of Muslim persecution.
Wait, which country was accepting Bethlehem residents? I don't understand that.
Salvador, Chile.
But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because they already had family in countries elsewhere, but they had opportunities to leave that ended up taking it. Which does really fucking suck.
Could I just quickly reply to Dave quickly?
But Pepe, that's
Sure.
not incorrect.
No, we moved on.
Yeah, no, just quickly.
We moved on.
Okay, let's about 30 seconds, please, Aziz.
Yeah, I'll
We've done this for numerous times.
Yeah, I'll keep it sharp. I'm not
Stuck on this.
I'm not almost. I'll keep it short. So, Dave, obviously, you said
Aziz, you will never be
Let him try. We'll cut him off at 30 seconds. Norm, if he's not.
Aziz, try to make some contribution.
I need 50.
Stop clock.
Try to make a small contribution. We're gonna listen.
Shut up.
Aziz, try to make a small contribution. Do your
Norm, let him fucking.
Norm, please.
We're listening, Aziz.
Stop.
We're listening.
What's up with Norm?
Go ahead, Aziz.
No,
Let's
you
hear
are
it.
excruciatingly annoying.
Let's hear it, Aziz. As stupid as you are, you still have the
Just start
opportunity.
talking.
This is part of your time.
No,
You're
just
using
take-
up your time, Aziz.
Please let
Just
him
breathe.
talk.
I'm gonna let him talk.
Thank you. So, Dave, you said I said a few things I didn't say, but just to clarify your point, what you're trying to say is like Sunni Turkey and Shia Iran are gonna make like some Islamic megazord, and then you have to kind of kill them to have peaceful coexistence. Is that the kind of point that you're
No,
trying to make?
that's not what he's saying. Have you finished
That's
your
basically what he said.
No, it's not what he said.
Well, let's let Dave answer.
Thank you,
That's
Aziz. That was
literally
great.
what he said.
Let's
Thank
hear
you. That's
from
what I
Mayor.
wanted to say.
Okay, thank you. Very good. Good job.
Thank you, Norm. You could be.
Thank you, Aziz. You did great.
Let's
Mayor,
go.
what were you gonna say?
We can let Dave respond.
Mayor, were you gonna jump in?
Is Norm the moderator or something?
Just be quiet.
You wanted to say that
Just a bit.
Yeah, let Daniel respond because Pepe just made
I
something
mean,
up.
I already spoke with Pepe about this bullshit survey with the Christians leaving because of the occupation. First of all, no, they were prosecuted. I can show you a lot of evidence that basically, yes, people don't like the checkpoints, but the check, it's like people don't like.
What you're trying to say is.
Search on an elbow. The reason it's not because of the DSA, it's because of terrorism.
I'm just curious.
Jack, you put up the skull thing. Do you want to respond to that?
So
Yeah,
if
it's ridiculous.
Hold on, Pepe.
Because the idea that their population has been
Thank you.
increasing for a long time. Long after any of these Islamists came around, they were part of the terrorist groups. Have you ever heard of George Habash? He wasn't a Muslim. There's plenty of situations that show Palestinian Christians resisting against the occupation, and so many surveys.
I would say some, not plenty, but some.
Yes, we understand there've been other forms of terrorists, Jack. I don't know what's your
Can we
point.
let him
talk? Norm, please.
Just let him finish.
Dude, so you can talk to them yourselves. They all have a consensus for the most part about this. It's the occupation. It's the same reason even Muslim families leave or change villages. It's literally just the occupation and this bullshit. We lived with Muslims and Jewish people in this land for hundreds of years with relative peace in historic Palestine.
But what happened?
Yeah,
What
it was
happened in
absolutely
Gaza
no
with
peace.
the Palestinian population in
One
Gaza?
second, Yaakov, don't let him get away with this. The Muslims have subjected the Christians. They made them pay extremely high taxes. They kept on all the holy sites in poor poverty. They played the Franciscans against I remember in a minute.
But today,
against each
that's
other.
not true, though. The Palestinians, Christians, and Muslims.
Don't interrupt. Let him finish.
Don't interrupt.
Oh, Norm, shut up. You were interrupting for the longest time.
Exactly. We have many Christians in.
Marge, can you let him finish and then you can respond, please?
Yeah, my
I mean, to just say they lived in peace, and like this is like the story that they say about the Jews also. We were fine with the Jews before the Zionists as long as they paid a high tax, they kept dhimmi status, and we got to kill them off every once in a while. They did not treat the Christians like that. Even there were many holy wars between the Christians and the Muslims, and you can hear the animosity even today when they talk to each other. Like just to pretend like everything was great before that, it's all in the occupation, is ahistorical and against current events.
Mayor, I was gonna respond, but then somebody else. Okay.
Just a quick one, because I made a specific claim about historic Palestine prior to the 1880s when Zionism came around. And for Jewish people, go look at how many pogroms were committed in just this specific region over hundreds of years against Jewish people. Your beef in this region wasn't with the Muslims or Christians, it was with the Druze. Those people were fucking you up a lot. And the Lebanese Muslims.
I don't get your point. Your argument was that the Christians lived peacefully with the Muslims for hundreds of years. It's completely untrue. Now that's completely untrue. The Christians were molested by the Muslims since the Crusades and even before.
Sure, and that was not. I was by no means trying to make that point earlier. Now, if we look at whether it's the Armenian Church, the Eastern Orthodox, the Catholics. They've all of these people have come out to, the churches themselves to basically bitch and even condemn the treatment of Palestinian Christians. And when we look at the demographics, it was in the 1950s where you saw there was 80% of Bethlehem was Christian. Now it's 17% or something really low. During these decades, unless I'm missing something, I'm not aware of any Muslim persecution that was driving the Christians out.
The same thing occurred in Gaza. I can't remember the total count. I think it was 5,000.
The same thing happened in Gaza.
5,000 Christian. No, there's
why don't you look at Lebanon? Look at what Hezbollah did to the Christians in Lebanon and why that country. That was supposed to be.
It's way different than this.
Yes, I agree 100%.
I think we shouldn't use Lebanon though. It is a different country.
All different.
But I think you can look at Gaza. There's, I think, pretty much zero.
I agree with Gaza.
Christians, Palestinians.
There was 5,000.
What?
In Gaza, there are
no, there's only a couple thousand. It's real low.
It's very low compared to what it was before when Hamas came into power.
Out of a couple million people, it's
I'll get
super
the
small.
data, Nash. Okay.
But if you look at, the reason why I'm specifically focusing on the Judea and Samaria, because it's Bethlehem and Jerusalem, two cities obviously historically tied to Christianity. I understand you guys too. But I mean, they did have an overwhelming majority of the population was Christian in the 1950s. And since then, that is when it's gone down. And with the surveys, they just said, well, and I can understand if everything's closed off. I mean, it can't be very easy on commerce. I mean, you guys will probably say, well, because of the Muslims and their terrorism, we had to put up security checkpoints to wall them off. Fine, fair enough. But they do claim that it was the restrictions put in place by Israel that made it so that they couldn't get by.
Begin until the late 90s by the Second Intifada. Before then, there was open trade between the two.
Yes,
the economic situation of that has actually risen since the quote-unquote occupation. When it was controlled by Jordan, they were kept as second-class citizens. So up from 1947 until 2000, the economic situation in the areas of talking about has gone up. And it's only after the Second Intifada when they started blowing up buses that all the checkpoints got put in place.
In Gaza, 2005, best estimate was 5,000 out of 1.5 million. And in 2023, it's down to 1,000.
I was about to say, I thought they said there was only a 1,000 or a couple thousand at most.
Yeah,
I was shocked at how low it was.
I looked up how many pogroms there were against Jews in historic Palestine under the Ottomans, 1517, 1917. There was 2 recorded documented cases.
1929.
No, this is from 1517 to 1917 under the Ottomans.
I think there's more than that. What did you? What was your beginning date?
15, 19.
Yeah, sure. What, Daniel, go for it. Daniel, please go.
Does that sound like horrible? What about this?
I thought you said can I go?
No, I said that, Yaakov. I wanted to touch on the Bethlehem population.
Yeah, sure. Go.
So from what I know is that prior to the 90s, the Palestinian Christian community in Bethlehem comprised of I think something like 70% of the population. But then after the Intifadas, that changed, and one of the questions it dwindled down to 20%. And one of the questions is why was that the case? In Bethlehem, the majority of tourism industry was controlled or run by the Palestinian Christian community, and so with the Intifadas, obviously tourism also dwindled, and their businesses were greatly impacted. So then they were able to sell. Many of them sold their businesses to people from Hebron who are transplants that live in Bethlehem, and so that's just one of the reasons. And that it was also easier for them to get visas to go to countries like Chile, where they also have families there. So, I just kind of wanted to put that into context, because that's oftentimes used in propaganda, that it was the Muslims and the relations with the Muslims, when that is far-fetched from reality. But there is truth to it, that there is also discrimination and persecution against Christians in the Middle East, and that's something that we need to touch.
Yaakov, I just want 30 seconds and then I go. Jack, can you give me 30 seconds, Jack? 30 seconds, Jack. 30 seconds.
Yes, who's talking?
Me, Dave. 30 seconds and then I go.
Sure, Dave.
30 seconds and then you all can have your whole night.
Dave, sure.
Okay, so Mas, you care about people in Gaza. The problem is the big picture I'm talking about. When Israel, Turkey and Syria attacking Israel, right? Israel has tried to mobilize 400,000, but they don't get there, right? And Hamas will persuade the people in Gaza. This is our opportunity. Let's redo October 7. Let's do it in a big scale. Let's just overrun those limited Israeli forces along the wall of Gaza. Let's just cross it. Let's redo October 7, because the Israeli force, they don't get up to 400,000. They are busy protecting the eastern front. The western front is completely empty. Hamas is going to persuade you. Let's do it. Doesn't matter how many people we die. Let's do it in a glorious way. Okay, I'm going.
Okay.
It's like a drive-by lecture.
Did anyone see the protest that happened, and what the outcome was? What Hamas did to some of the organizers by cutting them up and putting them by their families? Did anyone see those articles?
Yes, I did. Plus, they dropped off a guy they tortured. I think the only way you can control, there's 2.1, 2.2, whatever the number is, millions of people there, and there's 30,000 of them. How do you control the people? It's through fear and intimidation. If a whole mess of people gathered in one place, I think they could overrun them. And you do that by torturing people, kidnapping, torturing, and dropping their bodies off at their families' houses.
One of the Hamas police officers was actually shot and killed by some dissidents.
I saw that. That was like 2 days ago.
Yeah, a couple days ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if there's truly an uprising or it's a fantasy of the press.
I don't know about an uprising, but they just want this shit to stop, dude. There's just so many people fucking getting
sucks that Mir's not here. Well, Daniel's here. Like, you wouldn't agree that because when I say it wasn't because of the Muslims, you could say maybe it was a secondhand because they were doing terrorist activities, and that's what, why they had to put up the checkpoints. But they are, like, by and large, a innocent casualty in what I would consider their homelands. And they're gone now. There's not like they're gonna go back, and that is, like, to me personally, like, very fucking insulting.
I would suggest that you would try to find some resources that would tell you about how they were treated by their immediate neighbors. Except this time, I understand that you saw this survey, but see the incidents that they had to endure.
Well, I mean, this is going to come off as offensive, but I mean, compared to most of you Jews, I mean, they actually trace their lineage back and never left.
Language. Most of you Jews, come on. Be respectful here.
I am
being
very respectful.
No, you are not. Most of you Jews is like collectively throwing us under a bus.
Sure, no. Most of the Jewish population that's in Israel, they were not there and have not stayed there for thousands of years. But a lot of the Christians have.
Pepe, that was a different way of expressing it than your first way. Okay? Be respectful.
Okay, I wasn't talking about this. I'm talking about the fact that if you're being prosecuted, harassed by your neighbors, that you would leave. It has nothing to do with even nothing that I said about Jews, not Jews. If you would be massacred or being asked to pay taxes or being treated like a second-class citizen, yes, you would leave, but it wasn't because of Israel. Just
wait.
It's cold actually outside.
Were they treated like second-class citizens under who?
I mean, were they doing jizya
under the Ottomans?
Were they doing jizya in the 1990s?
Hold on, Jack asked a question. Daniel, can you respond to the question?
I'm talking about any Palestinian government. Which one? Was it
most of the Jewish population that's in Israel?
Who runs West Bank?
Hold on, I will find you the incidents.
I don't deny there's incidents. Sometimes there's tension between Muslims and Christians in certain neighborhoods, but the idea that they all left because of their Muslim neighbors is, I don't know any Palestinian Christian who would agree to that.
Yes, some, but the majority not. There are some I've heard, but I don't believe the majority did. I mean, the conditions there are difficult. Anyone for their own future, for the future of their children, would make an educated choice to leave because, unfortunately, the situation on the ground is a hopeless one, and I think the locals.
It didn't have to be that way, Madge.
Well, wasn't the Christians?
You guys were talking about the protests earlier in Gaza. That's actually proof of terrorism by Israel, because the definition of terrorism is acts of violence in hopes of political change. So that's actually what they're hoping for. The citizens of Gaza to protest and revolt against their government. That's terrorism. And they starved them for a month before that. They started them for a month before that and slaughtered them for 17 months.
Wait, you're going to tell me Israel's more terroristic than Hamas? I mean, that's fucking retarded.
Yes.
Oh.
Absolutely. Let's do a rubric. What's your definition of terrorism? And let's do a checklist. Let's do a rubric. How many babies do you have to kill to be called a terrorist? How many people do you have to starve to be called a terrorist? How many people do you have to blow up to be called a terrorist? How many buildings do you have to blow up to be called a terrorist? Let's do it. Let's do it.
Show me a GoPro camera on an IDF soldier's helmet where he's walking into Gazan homes and shooting, children and adults in the face.
Okay, show me that for the Hamas. Show me them shooting children.
We did on October 7th.
No, show it to me.
They filmed it.
No, you just said it. You didn't show it. You said it. You didn't show it.
They literally went to the kibbutz. They literally went to the kibbutz.
Show it to me. I can hear
you. And they were laughing while they did it.
Find it. Show it to me. Show it to me.
Find it. Do your own research.
I've seen all the videos.
Don't you think that's kind of a disingenuous argument? Because do you know the amount of bullshit and sexual harassment and physical assaults? God knows what else they do in prison to Palestinians. The amount of shit that IOF members do,
You want to say more?
You'll have to show
The
me
one
what
little
you're
thing
talking
that
about.
Palestinians did finally, like it doesn't match up. It really doesn't.
Guys,
I dispute
a woman that supports rape, how obscene, how
A
disgusting.
woman that supports rape, you sound idiotic. No one's supporting rape.
You are, Mike.
You sound idiotic.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
You guys always
You are, unfortunately.
Name one.
How many IDF members have raped innocent Palestinians? How many of them have sexually assaulted innocent Palestinians? Have killed multiple?
I don't want to go all into all these bizarre accusations. We're talking about coexistence.
Is it Retards Day or what?
Relentless bullshit.
Is it retard day? You sound like a retard. You literally sound
maybe
handy.
that's because you are.
No.
Hold on, stop. Everybody, stop. Stop. No personal attacks. Everybody, okay? It's not going to happen. No personal attacks, please. No calling people anything.
Yeah. No, but okay, I'll put that on. Such nonsense. It's like people that
Okay, no one's going to be thrown out of the room. Fine. No, you're not, Jack. Okay, there. Now it's balanced, okay? No one's cooked. He's going to abide by Amos's rules. People are going to talk, one mic, then response, then another mic. No one's getting thrown out of the room. They'll only be sent to the audience if they're completely misbehaving. I haven't heard anyone completely misbehaving or violating the mods in the past hour, so I think we understand the rules. Everyone agree?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll actually back up Steven's claim. I think anything you throw at Hamas and say, you're evil because this, Israel, Zionists have done to Palestinians before and more.
Hey, okay, you don't trust us and we don't trust you. Big deal. Now what?
That's your response.
It's more than this. It's like
This is the coexistence room, not the put down room.
Yaakov's literally like
so funny.
I'm sorry, what?
Words. It's like two realities. It's like the problem with coexisting is that we don't even share the same like reality. Like it's like they live in a different reality. Sorry, like it's so weird.
Right, it's like two different stories of the same situation. You would think they're talking about a whole different.
I'll tell you what the thing is. Okay, the thing is that many of those, keyboard warriors, they try to tell me, for example, about the education system in Israel, or what we see on TV, or what we believe in. So I understand how the propaganda works, but it doesn't work on me. I mean, I actually live in reality. So it's kind of, for me, it's very obvious. But I can understand the people that are not from the region or that only see this conflict through the screen and be very easily brainwashed into like this alternative world of reality, which is completely like propaganda. It's like it's a complete machine of propaganda. Once you see it, you see it. Don't even share the same.
I got a question.
You know what Hezbollah means? Yeah, sure.
Growing up, what was the narrative in school in history class about the state's founding? Like, what did they teach you? Like, how did it unfold? 1947, with the 1048, the war.
Like the War of Independence. Like there was a vote. We said yes. The Arabs said no. We started there was the partition plan. We created a state on our part. The Arabs basically launched a war against us. Stop me if anything that I'm saying that is not history. There was like 6 army, many different countries around us, and from internal, it was like 6 Arab armies at the same time. This is the 1948 war. And we were like, why putting a face? It wasn't, so stop me if I was wrong, historically, at some point.
How many Arab armies did you say?
6, I don't remember the whole list.
Lebanon, Syria, Egypt, Iraq, under Egyptian rule was Egyptian generals was Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan sent some military advisors.
And Arabs in Israel also.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm just talking about surrounding countries, doesn't include people within inside the land.
So, out of those, like, you said 6 or what?
There's here I'll do it with my finger, my hand and fingers again. Oh, Jordan, I forgot Jordan. So Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Iraq, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and advisors from Pakistan. That's 7. With 6 main countries.
Okay. Would you consider those 6 forces all armies?
The most professional was the Jordanian army, which was underneath British command, actually, or former British military advisors.
I don't think it really matters. At the end of the day, there was a petition plan. We said yes to create a state. Arabs kind of united together to try and eliminate us.
Talking about surrounding.
Why would you?
Hold on. The major.
Why would you say no?
The major.
What?
The major UN resolution was 181, which said that both the Jewish state and the Arab state needs to create a constitution, create police force, create judiciary systems, create everything for a state, postal service, all these things. Israel did those things. The other side didn't.
Why would, like you said, we said yes, you said no. Why would you guys say no? And why would we say yes to that? Not you, Yaakov. Responding to something Daniel said, like.
No, it was a partition plan. Like there was like part of the land that was around the Jewish cities and the Arab areas around the Arab cities, and each one continues to live on their land. Happily ever after.
And they overlapped each other too, right?
I'm going to put the partition plan on the.
No, you can have the map. You can look at the map.
If you can put the map.
Yeah, it's.
UN partition and put
it,
yourself in a position of like a Palestinian or Arab at that time who lived there, or non-Jew. It's like.
Please don't scroll.
Kick me.
But like that's not really the impression I had on her prior to actually meeting her. You see what I mean? So.
No, that's right.
Damn, they kicked me from there too.
That into context because that's